Okay, we're back. I'll in post combine the two together at some point. Well, once I learn how to do that, but that's the big thing. But what I was saying, I forgot what I was at, the exact moment I was at. But Luffy wakes up from his nap. Well, no, I remember where I was saying. Crocodile's just like, oh, it was just a history lesson. Then I guess I don't need you anymore. And so they fight, right? Nico's, I prepared for this. Throws a vial of water. Crocodile's just like, I know it's my kryptonite. That's not going to work on me, you dumb bitch. And then stabs her.
Cartman voice.
Yep. And then he's just like, yep, that's right, Cobra. I started this entire revolution just to figure out where Pluton is, because I know your secret, and it's that your family's in charge of guarding Pluton. And it turns out that's not what it was. Crocodile's just, he got played. And then, so from there we have Luffy wakes up from his nap, and he goes into the tome of the ancients, and he's just like, yo, Crocodile, we have unfinished business. And Crocodile's just like, how many times do I have to teach you this lesson, young man? And they fight again, but Luffy's covered in his own blood.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, because he's fucked up. Because, he hurt his leg on the way there and everything.
He was literally a walking dead man at that point.
Pretty much.
Luffy could have died right there with all the stuff that he went through.
And right before the fight starts, Luffy says, there's something you still need to return, Crocodile.
Yep.
And I'm here to get it back. And the Crocodile's like, what is this? What is this thing I took? Is it money? Is it fame? Or people's trust? Their lives? Is it rain? I have taken all of those things, so which is it you want me to give back, Straw Hat?
What is this, Straw Hat?
This land.
This land, boy. You took my land.
You took our job. And Luffy covered his body in his blood and just starts beating the brakes off a crocodile.
I'm talking about bruh, he literally fighting this man. It looked like they make it look like he ain't using no gimmicks, he ain't using nothing, because Crocodile shook. How is he able to hit me? What you mean, Crocodile? Blood work like water. And it's literally, he just goes everything, ape shit, kick, punch. He just taking it all to the dome.
Yeah. Luffy just starts beating the absolute crap out this man. He's hitting him with the 1, 2, all the way to 206.
Yep. He running more than just the ones. He running the 2s, the 3s.
He beats his ass so bad he comes up with a new name for Gun Gatlin.
Oh, talking about the shotgun?
No. That's at the first part. Remember, he has a different version, and he calls it Gum Storm.
Oh, yeah. No, I know about that.
Where it's just like Gatlin on steroids.
Yeah, he just punches everything instead of just a direction.
But
I ain't gonna lie, I wish they would have kept the shotgun thing, because that was cool. But I think it was literally just meant to be like an
only
opening
works
to
on
Gatlin.
people like that.
Yeah.
So, But the big thing is about this fight. So like I kind of got into it earlier. When he covers himself in water, he's like, water's the thing that gives like everything life. Like everything on the planet needs water that's alive, for the most part. Like there's some microscopic organisms that don't need it, but like everything else does. Like plants, fungi, animals, a couple, like some microscopic things need it. Like it's just like a bunch of, so he's using the thing that gives life to counteract this person that's entire thing is taking life away. So he's like, it's pretty poetic. He's not just like, it's not just a, like, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. Crocodile's a being of taking, and it's like Luffy's giving him too much back almost. Like giving back what he's trying to take, but extra, so Crocodile can't take it.
Yeah.
So, like Crocodile can take it from you, but in this way he can't. It's just super poetic that the thing that Crocodile wants to take from everything is also his weakness. Like he wants to take life from everybody else, but everybody else's life is his weakness. It's sort of like that when Itachi says every jutsu has a flaw, and this jutsu's flaw is my existence. Yeah, it's like, but it shows like Crocodile's entire thing. Like I said, like every main bad guy is like fundamentally opposed to part of Luffy's dream.
Yeah.
And so Crocodile is opposed to like the almost worship Luffy has for life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
I can see
like Luffy doesn't worship it like a traditional churchgoer worships something, but he worships it in how he behaves.
Yes.
Like he behaves as if life is the single most important thing in the universe. Like living a good life is the single most important thing. Like it's the single most important thing in the universe to him. So he's using the thing that gives you life to beat a man that's entire gimmick is taking life away.
So like, if I could summarize the idea, because that's 100%, because Crocodile spent his entire time in Alabasta trying to keep water away from the people, water symbolizing life, and that turns out to be his actual weakness the whole time.
Yeah, so that's why he took it away.
In Luffy's thing, yeah, I see it now. So he was taking the water away from everybody, literally, because I think it was more.
We learned that he was like, that's where Smoker went. Smoker figured out the scam.
Yeah.
And there was a Baroque's work ship that was sailing around, and whenever it saw a rain cloud get close to Alabasta, it would use dance powder to make it rain immediately. That way it couldn't go to Alabasta.
Yep.
And that's why it hadn't rained in 3 years.
Yep.
It's because he was artificially forcing it to rain not in Alabasta.
Because the dance powder takes moisture away from everything else.
Yeah, it takes the clouds that are starting to be like maturing to the point, and it forces them to rain right then.
Which even the dance powder is a metaphor for the whole thing, because dance powder has to pull moisture away from the other clouds in order to make it rain here. And I can see that being literal Crocodile in the essence, like, I'm gonna take everything else away from here to make my area good. Yeah,
like Luffy thinks that everyone can live a good life, like just by like being free.
Yep.
Crocodile thinks his freedom costs everyone else's their life.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah, Luffy doesn't think it like costs any. So it's not that Luffy understands that it costs your suffering to have a free life. Crocodile, like your own personal suffering to have a good life. Crocodile thinks it costs the suffering of others for you to have a good life, and that's like how he's the part of Luffy's like outlook on life that he's the opposite of.
Because I'm going back to even when, like, right when he first, like, right before he threw Luffy in the hole, he told him one of the things that bleeded this country was people's hearts in it, and told him if you abandoned your heart, you probably would have been strong enough to beat me. And it's kind of spinning. It's like, no, Luffy didn't have to abandon his heart. You just had to not be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see it. That's a good metaphor. That's definitely poetic in all the senses of how Crocodile was running Alabasta. That just makes it like, yeah, he was taking life away from everything to make his own paradise, and you messing everybody else's life up in the process trying to create your own paradise. And Luffy, being the person he is, sees life living itself as a paradise, the journey itself to be the paradise.
Like, he sees the suffering through his journey to get
and
what he wants as the paradise.
It's even crazy when she used to be such a green land, such rich with all these, and now it's
like
just,
all the oases were beautiful.
All the oases removed. The people themselves had kind of just, went to just strictly survival mode. The old man being the only dude looking for water in the ground.
Yeah, like the only person trying to save anything.
Yeah. No.
Also, another thing it points towards is, like, so Crocodile pretended to be the hero.
Yeah.
It's like, and he's the seven Lord of the Sea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the seven Warlord of the Sea, which means he works directly for the Celestial Dragons, right?
Yep.
Like, he only answers to the, like, Sengoku Guard and the Celestial Dragons.
Yep.
Because he's allowed to not listen to Kizaru, Ice Dude, and
Kizaru, Aokiji, and
Aokiji, that's
fucking Sakazuki. That's all I know him as now.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, he's like, they don't, like, they're supposed to listen to him, but it's not super major.
Right.
But the two strongest, like, they have to listen to because they have to. And then the Celestial Dragons get to boss the top brass around, so he has to. But if you remember, our entire thing is the Celestial Dragons are a metaphor for the last man. So it's an agent of the last man is trying to convince everyone that he's a hero.
Yeah.
He's the hero. He's the one you want to be like. He's the one, but you don't want to be anything like him because he actually sucks so much.
I definitely see that. Definitely see that.
So it's like an extra layer to the metaphor. He's like, Crocodile is for lack of a better term, Crocodile is a wolf in sheep's clothing that's trying to convince people that instead of taking on your own suffering, you make other people suffer to get comfort. But Luffy's whole thing is, like, I don't want to be comfortable. I just want to live life. I understand I have to suffer for it, but that's what makes it so much sweeter when I finally get what I want. But Crocodile is convincing people, or attempting to convince people, and I think this is why his name is Crocodile, because his entire gimmick is a crocodile tear.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I see
his entire gimmick is just, he's a living crocodile tear.
Yeah. Like, for real. Nah, for real, he is.
Yeah, that's why I assume his name is Crocodile. I assume, like, Otis heard the phrase before. It was just like, oh shit, that works.
Nah,
because remember,
right there.
You know what crocodile tears are caused by, right? Is what makes them.
Oh.
So it fit, so he was made by the sea because he's a pirate. So he's like a living crocodile tear. Like, he's a living fake. He's a living fraud.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that. No, I like that. That's a good analogy. That's a good perspective for Crocodile, because he comes from the sea, so salt water. He comes from that, coming over into Alabasta with the same metaphorical crocodile tears, but spinning it and actually seeing where it lines up. No, I like that. Yeah. No, I like that. That's
it's just
really
something
good.
I noticed that I thought was like there's I don't think Oda did it on purpose, but as soon as he noticed it, he was just like, that's staying in.
Yeah, he ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, saw the opportunity and ran with it. Nah, that was good. When you really sit there and think about it, nah, I like that.
And also,
the crocodile tail, the metaphor.
Crocodile's not willing to die to win, but Luffy is another thing. Like, Luffy's not willing to sacrifice himself my bad. Luffy is willing to sacrifice himself, but nobody else.
Yeah.
He's not, but Crocodile is the exact opposite. Crocodile's willing to sacrifice everything but himself.
Yep.
That's even how he uses his powers. Like, he's not in the fight, he just uses it to escape.
Get out of reach.
To make sure they can't hit him.
Yep. Get out of reach.
He's like
that blow.
Like, yeah. It's like he fights like the opposite of Ace. If you want to look at it like in Logia users, how they fight.
Yeah. Especially in this arc, because Ace was very frontal in his attacks. He didn't avoid danger. And he went into it, knows he can put enough power out to burn
all
them
of
out.
Crocodile's attacks are ranged.
Yeah.
Is another thing.
Like very stunny. Like trying to crowd control. Like in the way he did Luffy, putting him in that sinkhole.
Well, yeah.
Like why you couldn't just go ahead and kill him.
What's it called? The sinkhole was using, I think it was Spada Underground.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, like, all of his attacks are ranged, except for his hook, but his hook is deceitful.
Yeah.
Just like a crocodile's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which also is super stupid, because you can't put a hook sheath that's shaped exactly like the hook on a hook.
Yeah, no.
How you going to take it off? Because it has to go up, but it's curved, so it can't go up because it has to go down at the same time. You know what, Oda? Whatever. Maybe Oda's just like, it's because for a split second he turns it, he like Logiafies it. also, so Crocodile doesn't have a left hand, right?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, what's he press in the thing to make the knife pop out? If it's just a nub?
I don't even know. Hey.
You know, or does he just turn it to sand and push it forward? I'm just curious.
I can't tell you.
Also, why is the piece of metal attached to his arm? This is the thing about Logi, as I was talking about, that makes no sense. Why is the piece of metal attached to his arm? Why does that turn to sand? And here's the even dumber part. How does he turn the poison in it to sand?
That's a wonderful question. A wonderful question.
Hey, Oda, I need some explaining. You got some
fictional
explaining
story.
I get that, but that's
the only denomination.
Like it completely ruined my suspension of disbelief when I noticed. I was just like, wait a second, bro.
Yeah, no.
So is he poison sand?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because what's it called? He calls it like the scorpion sting or something like that.
Yeah, scorpion sting.
So like, I need you to explain some things, brother. Like, what the fuck is this? What is what?
That could be.
You mind explaining this to me?
That can be said for a lot of things when it comes to Logia.
Like a lot of the stuff can be explained away by because I said so, but I feel like that's not a because I said so thing.
Yeah, just like I said, one thing I can come up with is a fictional story.
But like, I get the clothes transforming because it takes too much time to like the pacing for the story's already whack. It doesn't need to be messed up by the fact that they have to change clothes every 10 seconds. You know?
It's also what happens when you don't try to make things like non-fictionally make sense.
Yeah, but I'm just like, that's one particular thing because it doesn't happen often.
No,
like,
I agree though. No, it's
like,
crazy.
I'm fine with your glasses turning into whatever the thing is. Like Magellan, like all his shit on him transforms to poison. Sure, that's fine. But let's say he has like a sword that he carries, and the sword magically turns to poison. It doesn't get covered in poison. It just turns into actual poison. Like, no, that's bullshit. Fuck that. I need an explanation.
But in his defense, there are crazier things that happen in this show.
I think we just need to admit that devil fruits are magic now.
No,
they're not a magic system. They're actual magic.
No, I would definitely 100% agree with that. Like,
because that's like the only way to explain all this shit is that they're legitimately magic.
Yeah.
But plus, there's angel.
Even
people.
At this point, with Luffy freaking getting impaled, drinking a bunch of water, and the hole still being there, like that, bro, you supposed to be dead.
And his force of will and his, how'd the meat stay in his stomach? By the way,
bro, I think he hyper freaking digests it.
No, because so the water comes out of him when he drinks it all at first, and he's like, "Oh shit, I got a hole," right? So wouldn't the meat come out too?
Like I say, he can hyper digest.
He can actually.
So like, you know.
No. Remember, it happens in Whiskey Peak. He's like Bigfoot, and then he's just like, shrinks. Okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Like I ate it all.
But it's to like a greater degree later. We'll get there, you know.
And then Crocodile starts talking a mad amount of shit because Luffy's beating his ass. And so he's just like, there's no way you should be winning, so I'm going to talk shit so that it distracts you. And Luffy's just like, I'm fighting because Vivi would rather die than let you win, so I'm not going to let my friend die. Is like his whole reason for wanting to fight. And Crocodile's just like, that's stupid. Friends don't matter. And Luffy's just like, that's what you don't understand. You don't understand what it means to put your life on the line for something. And Luffy's just like, if we die, we die. That's all there is to it, is his actual words. Luffy keeps piecing Crocodile up and tells him, you can't defeat me. Crocodile goes in with the hook one last time. Luffy catches it with his foot, his bare foot, because his sandals got the moisture absorbed from him and disintegrated, which was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because they're sandals. But he snaps the hook. So also, here's another thing about the poison part that makes it bullshit. Like, he snaps the hook, right, by slamming it into the ground. Just in that split second, because he doesn't touch the actual hook part. If you can magically turn that into sand, just turn it into sand when it hits it, since that's not the part touched by the blood.
Mm-hmm.
That way you still have the poison hook. But he nicks Luffy when Luffy catches it. Like, in the same motion. Like, he nicks his shoulder when Luffy goes around to catch it with his foot. And he snaps it, and Crocodile, thinks to himself, like, where the hell does this crazy motherfucker get his strength from? Like, what the heck is going on here? I don't understand this at all. And also, there's another really cool metaphor to talk about here. The tomb is collapsing around them because it's booby-trapped to close to someone that's not the king, that doesn't know, or the queen, that's not royalty, that doesn't know the way to go and what to touch. Makes it collapse in on itself because they know the poneglyph is indestructible, so they don't have to worry about that. But so Luffy and Crocodile are fighting over the soul of Alabasta, right? If you think about it, they're fighting over the soul of Alabasta.
Yeah.
While the body of Alabasta is collapsing around them, because they're in the heart of the city of Alabarna, but underground. Because it looks like it's not in Alabarna, but it turns out it's directly under the front of the square in front of the palace. You know?
I can see that.
Because when he punches him through with Gum Gum Storm, we see that they're in the middle of the square.
Yeah.
When he knocks him through. So, it's like the skeletal structures or the body of Alabasta, because it's where the royalty lives, so it's like the heart of Alabasta. So Luffy and Crocodile are fighting for the soul of Alabasta, while the body of Alabasta, the people of Alabasta, if you will, are collapsing around them.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It's just something I noticed. I thought it worked well.
And then it makes it great because even when Crocodile got launched in air, they still didn't stop fighting.
Yeah. So until Koza was just like, guys, he did everything.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what?
No, that's great. And also the metaphor that I like, because it was different this time. You know, in the previous chapters, like Arlong, like, you know, Krieg and all them, when they get beat, we get that silhouette of the sun. But this time, I've noticed that when Crocodile got beat, it got dark. It started raining, which of course.
But it doesn't get dark on Luffy.
No,
it's
not
bright on Luffy.
I was going to mention that next because it's raining outside, and then Luffy. Every time Luffy was shown, it was always bright. Like even when Cobra had him and laid him down, said he carried him and all them to safety. Where he had like no
Luffy
strength.
Yeah,
and they showed the shot looking down on him, and he's just bright. And I'm like, bro, it's literally raining right now. Where the sun at? But we know archetype of the sun.
Yeah,
yep. But that was great because I had wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because it was like that was the one change I seen. But yeah.
But Luffy punches him all the way through the tomb up, and Cobra's just like, what kind of drugs is this man on? And then the light of the surface illuminates Luffy while he's in the thing. And then, like, the Straw Hats thwart the bomb. Pale, air quotes, dies for the second time. We learned what Smoker was actually doing was he figured out why there was a drought in Alabasta now. It's because Crocodile had a ship set up to make sure it never rained in Alabasta again. Because it turns out the reason that there's a drought is because he would have lost a fight to everybody in the rain. That's the entire reason why he would have lost a fight to everybody in the rain. Which,
I can see that.
It makes it ridiculous that he was one of the strongest pirates. When you think about it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And we know, like, he's one of the weakest. One thing that's crazy also to think about is, like, think about how easily, like, Jinbei would beat the shit out of him.
Oh, of course.
Because he can produce water.
Of course. Like, any fishman.
Magic water. Because fishman karate is magic. Don't tell me it's not.
No, I agree.
They create water out of nothing. They don't get it from their bodies.
Some attacks, though, they need water to do.
Yeah.
Some attacks.
Or they need water to do it correctly.
Hordy and Arlong, them dudes just secreting the shit. Just
Jinpei can do the water shuriken thing, too.
Yeah.
Where they do like this.
I was thinking about that water current shoulder throw. That's the one
he can judo throughs, and it creates like a mini tsunami.
Yeah. But Jinbei hard though. Hard.
Like it's weird how like Arlong would probably beat Crocodile.
Oh no.
Because he can do the water stuff, like create water out of nowhere.
The only way Crocodile would get him is if he got a hold of him before that. Because Crocodile could essentially one shot him, but I don't think he would.
But well, I don't know if he could one shot. Like he could try. But I don't think he'd be able to. Because Luffy has not gotten any stronger between Alabasta and what's it called?
Yeah.
Like, Luffy doesn't get any stronger than he is now until he gets to... Which is one thing about One Piece I don't really like. Is that he doesn't get any stronger until time skip.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like he gets stronger.
The gears get introduced.
Well, yeah. But... You know what I mean? It makes no sense that Gear 3 is stronger when you think about it.
Stronger than what?
No, that he's just stronger when he uses Gear 3.
I wouldn't say he's just stronger. I mean,
no, like it does more damage to people and things. Like there's the door that we'll get to at Enies Lobby that he couldn't punch down normally, but he punches it down with Gear 3.
Mm-hmm.
But the physics doesn't work out.
This is a fictional story.
I get that, but it just doesn't make any sense.
It's not supposed to.
There has to be something that makes sense, or you can't have a suspension of disbelief. checkmate liberals.
I mean,
I love the checkmate liberals meme.
Something that makes sense. I mean, you watching this should understand that things aren't gonna make sense in this. Like,
well, yeah, like that's what the suspension of disbelief is. It's like, as long as it follows its internal logic, you can believe it. But every now and then, One Piece has a problem of breaking its internal logic.
Gear Third. What else is Gear Third supposed to do? Like, what's supposed to take over Gear Third if it's not supposed to be him being stronger?
No. I get that. It just like it's like one of those things. Like it just doesn't make sense that makes him stronger. How? Like the action itself makes him stronger.
Like how? I mean, Gear Third just gives him the ability to make bigger fists, so he can cover a bigger surface area. He still has the same amount of strength. It's just,
but it does more damage.
Exactly. So
no. But in real life, you
can't compare to real life.
But I'm saying like because like density matters in other parts of the show, it doesn't make sense.
So what you're saying is he should be able to blow holes in with a fist the size of his face versus the fist the size of a house.
Mathematically, yes.
How?
Density matters in that more than the actual surface area.
How?
It's like bullets. Like the bigger bullet doesn't always do the most damage. It's the fastest bullet that matters.
But you ain't gonna take a gun with bullets and shoot it at a ship. You're gonna need a cannon.
That's like slightly different though. It's
how?
Like the same. So
how in this aspect right now, how is that analogy different?
Because like that's a different type of thing altogether. Like a cannon has more gunpowder too than a 9mm.
Exactly.
He doesn't have more gunpowder.
He literally goes from small to big.
Yeah, and but if he has the same amount of strength.
No, because he's strong. You see, he's able to pick up stuff and throw it and all that. He's strong. He still has, if he has strong enough to throw that fist, because if I take.
No, but also it's the density is getting, when he makes the fist big, the density is getting rapidly reduced.
I'm lost.
So, air is not very dense, right? That's what he's doing. He's putting air in it to make it bigger, right?
So by that same logic, he shouldn't be doing no damage at all in the beginning.
No. What I'm saying is making it bigger and punching with it should do less damage to things. No, dude, my math checks out. The math checks out.
It can't check out. You do realize this is a fictional story. You can't say the math checks out.
No. The reason I'm saying it is because the reason I'm saying it doesn't make sense is because density matters for other things in the story.
Like what?
Like
you have to give me a real story example and go about it like that.
Just like the properties of steel in the verse.
No,
like
those still aren't. Metal. That still aren't the same thing. Like, they still aren't mathematically lining up.
No. I'm saying, like, the density of steel matters for things. So then the density of Luffy's arm should matter for things.
What does the density of steel matter?
I just want parity between the thing. It's not the... What's it called? It's just... It messes up my suspension of disbelief is what I'm saying.
So it just fucks with you.
Yeah, that's what the entire thing I'm saying.
Okay, but
like,
just...
I want it to be... like, I would like the eternal... unless they say devil fruits are magic, that fixes the problem. Like, if they're like, devil fruits are magic...
It's not a problem, though. Again, we're still talking about a fictional story, number one. So things in the real world are not going to line up in a fictional story.
No, I get that.
You don't get that. Because if you did, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
There's more that lines up in the fictional world of One Piece than doesn't line up, like, parallel with the real world.
Like what?
Like, it's like 80%, 20%.
Because, like, bro, the fact that we just went on this whole tangent
like
about
they have
dude.
Like magic and their world's different, but they're on a plane of existence. They exist in their world. They breathe. They have to sleep. They have to, like, what I'm getting at is
not everybody has to breathe and eat and sleep. We have Fishman who can live underwater.
Yeah.
Blackbeard doesn't sleep. Luffy can eat 3 days worth of food in one sitting. Like,
but he still has to
all
eat.
the science does not matter. Like,
No. I'm saying like the parody is there's more similar to One Piece in our world than different between One Piece and our world, or at least the laws of the universe are more similar.
How?
There's gravity. There's
but it
sun,
doesn't affect them the same.
There's buoyancy.
But it doesn't affect them as the same as it would.
But they
us.
still have the concept, is what I'm saying.
But that's like saying that they have oxygen. Like, we don't even know if they're breathing oxygen.
But we know they have to breathe.
Yeah, but they could be breathing some other chemical.
And we know they have hearts, they have lungs, they have stomachs. We don't know if they have intestines or not.
But you do
they
realize,
have arms, they have
you
legs.
do realize everything in the world is modeled after humans, right? Like, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, everything is modeled after a human. It either takes a look of some kind, a function of some kind, or a presence of some kind.
Are you talking about man-made stuff?
No, just in general. Like cars. You look at cars. They all have like a system. We're talking about something that's man-made. We're not talking about nothing that's not man-made.
No, I'm just saying the One Piece universe has more things in common with our universe than it doesn't. I get that, but that just reinforces my point.
It doesn't, though, because it's still a fictional story. At the end of the day, we're looking. See, what you're doing, you're taking real world calculations and putting them into a fictional standpoint, trying to say that it doesn't make sense.
That's no. The reason I'm
what's going on.
So it's not that it doesn't make sense. Period. It's that it makes sense sometimes. But because it's convenient for the plot, it doesn't make sense here.
Like what?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, like when it comes to like
saying a bigger fist wouldn't do more damage than a smaller fist because of density, which is a real world calculation. That's what I'm talking about. That would not work.
I'm saying like density matters in other places in the One Piece, but for Luffy's big punch, it doesn't. But
there's what could you?
But
compare
like I'm saying,
that?
if Oda comes out and says the devil fruits are actually magic.
He doesn't have to do that because it's a fictional story at the end of the day.
No, I'll say magic doesn't have to follow any rules except for the made-up rules that magic has, right?
This is a fictional story in a world created by Oda. If he wanted to make water the power system, he could have done that. But the fact that...
This isn't Tower of God, my guy.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like, he's put this framework out. We follow the framework he's done that he's put out.
Like, yeah, he put out a framework.
Everything else doesn't matter.
No. Look, I get he put out a framework, right? What I'm saying is some things follow the framework. Some things don't follow the framework because it's convenient for the plot.
How?
And that messes up.
You haven't given me anything that's comparable to that to tell you, because the steel thing doesn't work. Because no,
it does. It just
doesn't.
So if things can float in water, that's because of the density is less than the density of water. Correct?
Yeah,
that's just how it works. Like that's how it works in the in the show too. That's why stuff sinks, because it becomes no longer less dense than water.
But we literally eat devil fruits and say they can't swim, so all they're gonna do is sink. So obviously density doesn't matter. If that was the case, and that was the first calculation, the first thing that mattered, they wouldn't sink. They just wouldn't be able to swim, which means they wouldn't do nothing but float.
Well, no. Density does, because people that aren't super fat naturally sink because of density.
And that's a real world concept. Again, you're taking real world concepts and put them in fictional places, saying they should work. Like,
Luffy sinks
because of a devil fruit. But because of his devil fruit, he should be able to float.
No. Listen, this is what... No, he shouldn't, because his density is greater than the density of water. He can make his density less than water, but he's not naturally. It's like, when he's in the crocodile prison, right, and they have to go up through the water to do it, right? It's not like a density problem, because all the devil fruit users, except for a handful, would naturally already sink, so they can't swim out of the water.
At all? Yeah.
They can't swim. No, what I'm saying is almost all the devil fruit users that we saw would sink naturally anyway. Because, like, Blackbeard might be fat, but he also has an insane amount of muscle mass, so he would also be more dense than water. Like, it's like that. That's
not this is not like helping you telling me that Gear 3rd should not do as much damage as like his regular fist. Because literally, when you take,
I'm saying density matters sometimes, but not all the time. So it doesn't.
When does density matter more, or when does it matter less? Because just saying that density matters because you have people floating in water when it's literally a pirate anime, they're in water all the time. No, are you saying that people should just like what's the caveat?
No, I'm saying so if you don't have too much body fat. If, like, you have mostly muscle mass on your body and you go in water, you sink. You
it's
stay
a real
up.
World concept again.
Yeah. But it behaves that way in One Piece is what I'm saying.
Not all the time, though.
Most of the time.
Like what? What's the most of the time?
No. Look, unless you put an external force on the water with a large amount of muscle fat, muscle mass, you float.
Real world.
You don't
concepts.
float. You just tread.
Real world concepts. This is not a real world.
Everyone else sinks if they don't tread, though. Like Zoro in the water, he'll sink if he doesn't tread. That's density.
But again,
the reason that he sinks. What I'm saying is, I get that it's fictional, but density is a thing that works until it's inconvenient for Oda to work.
Like
when Haki shows up, it makes sense.
Gravity's literally the same way in your argument. Gravity would literally be the exact same.
I never said it wasn't.
I'm just saying. Like, are we gonna sit here and say that gravity is a problem too?
When it breaks the rules of the pre-established.
Because the question is this: what exactly are you trying to say?
I'm saying it messes with at least my suspension of disbelief when it's not consistent across the board.
And how
that's what I've been saying the entire time.
Like, that's
because it works. No, what I'm saying is, it only works in Oda's framework. Things only work in Oda's framework when it's convenient for the plot.
This is Oda's universe.
I get that it's his universe, but I'm saying there's moments where it only works because it's convenient to the plot, not like it's established that it works this one way, but because the plot calls for it to work another way, it works another way, is what I'm saying.
So the plot is basically saying it works right this time, it works different another time?
Yeah, it's basically concepts get plot armor.
So now you're still gonna have to give real world examples of where that does that, because so far it hasn't done
density.
That. No. Story examples, which means an event in the story, a point in the story to where those things are actually happening and actually contradicting themselves. Because for sitting here saying that for the plot to work, because every time Luffy hits the water, he sinks.
The plot. That's not what I said. It's not for the plot to work, but for the thing to work inside the plot.
So for the plot to work.
Not necessarily.
That sounds like the same thing.
But it's basically certain things get, like, it ignores how certain things work because the plot needs them to work that way.
And that's it. You're going back to what I told you. How things work doesn't matter because it's a fictional universe.
No, it matters for consistency.
No,
the consistency matters. Yes, it does.
You're taking a finite thing out here saying, because it's not dense, and talking about the plot, which is way over here. Because the plot, Luffy's in the water, he's supposed to sink because he has a devil fruit. What you're telling me,
no. He sinks with or without the devil fruit if he can't tread water.
He's gonna sink regardless. Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. So that's why it doesn't make sense that Gear 3 does more damage.
How? It's literally bigger fist. Like No.
It's a bigger fist, but it's not more mass.
It's that's a real world concept that's not supposed to work here.
It's not. It is more mass, but it's less mass per square inch. guns shouldn't work then if the real world stuff doesn't apply to it. But also, it doesn't.
Dude, how many people in the real world can cut bullets? Like, we see the stuff Zoro's doing. We see, like, all this stuff. Like, what I'm getting to in the complete, like, the complete retrospect of anything. If I was to take your logic and put it in One Piece, I would need more fingers to tell you everything that doesn't work.
The logic, like, I'm saying that the logic of One Piece occasionally contradicts how logic works in One Piece.
Every story does that. Every story, we could go through it. Every story does that. We're talking about fiction here. Like, if I took everything that you did, I guarantee you I could find way more things that would not work in the real world as they do in there. That's literally like saying that they're bad.
That's not the argument that I'm making at all.
No, what I'm telling you is that if I was to do exactly what you're doing and look for real world concepts in One Piece, density wouldn't be the only thing that wouldn't work in the real world. We just said gravity would be the same thing.
Look. I'm not saying anything about how it not acting like the real world. I'm saying...
Then what are we talking about?
No. I'm saying there's instances where it acts like it does in the real world in the story of One Piece.
Something has to act different. It's something you still haven't given me.
That's why I use the argument of density, because that's why the fist wouldn't work.
I want you to tell me Zoro did this and it did this. Luffy did this and this should have happened this. I don't want you to keep giving me the same concept about density because it's not supposed to work. I think the reason that you just don't get what it is with density, why that works, why that example works. Because it's a real world concept. It's a real world calculation.
Do you know what density is?
In physics?
Yeah.
No, because I've never taken physics.
Okay, so density is the amount of matter in an object.
Again, why does this matter?
I'll get to it. Okay. So, density matters. Like, we know that's why they sink. Right? So, the people that don't sink, what's the more reason dense they sink? That's it's technically because of gravity.
The devil fruit.
No. So the reason that someone sinks, and it's consistent in the show, it's gravity, right? It's gravity. You have to put a force on the water to not sink. People that ate the devil fruit cannot put a force on water because they cannot swim. So gravity is why they sink. But you float if you're less dense than water. You sink if you're more dense than water. So everyone that ate a devil fruit is more dense than water, right? We can agree to that.
Yeah.
So, they're more dense than water. Since they're more dense than water, they sink. It acts similarly, not the exact same. It acts similarly to the real world, correct?
No.
How's it not act similarly to the real world?
Devil fruits. If it acts similarly to the real world, what you're saying right now, devil fruits would not even...
No. So, the devil fruit... Like, if you don't eat a devil fruit, it doesn't magically make you float. Not eating a devil fruit. No, what I'm saying, right, like Sanji, right. If Sanji just sits in the water and doesn't do anything, he'll sink too.
But again, I agree with you, but where in the plot has somebody should have sank that float and somebody float that should have sank? Where in the plot does that happen?
This is what I'm getting at. So, like, let's look at, like Kid Sanji sinks. He's more dense in the water, right? In the flashback with Zeph, Kid Sanji sinks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it doesn't just... You don't magically sink because you don't have a devil fruit. It's people that ate a devil fruit are more dense than water. They can't tread water, which is the thing that lets you float if you're not less dense than water. So they sink because of that.
We're still using scientific terms of the real world to explain this, but I'm with you. Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, that way we can't just say, like, this person, like, you have to exert force on the water to stay afloat if you're less dense than water. Or if you're more dense than water, you have to exert force on the water to stay above the water. The people that ate devil fruit can't. And they're more dense than water, so that's why they sink. So, when you punch something... right, with your fist, the calculation of how much damage it does is mass times acceleration, right?
I told you I didn't take physics.
Okay, so force equals mass times acceleration.
Okay. So, real world calculation again.
So the mass of Luffy's fist,
real world calculation,
does marginally go up, but the destructive force of the fist is much more and not marginally more. And since density matters for a simple concept, it should also matter for this other simple concept, is all I'm saying.
100% no.
Why not?
Because if we put real world concepts in everything we watch, you know how boring anime would be?
No,
it's not supposed to make sense.
No. Look, what I'm saying is the real world concept of density works in this moment.
All right.
So it should work in similar
Let me ask you a question. This is a pirate anime, right?
Yeah.
That they're in water all the time, right? And this stuff that's going on, like literally, these dudes are eating fruits that's literally making them not even be able to tread water, not be able to float, all that stuff. Like literally, what? Like everything that Luffy is doing, everything, like literally does not make sense. None about what Luffy does makes sense in the real world.
That's part of what I'm saying. So, you know what suspension of disbelief is, right? It's your ability to say, I know it's not real, but it makes sense in the universe that it's happening in, right? The concept of...
But again, how does it, like, literally, that's what I'm telling you.
I'm saying the inconsistent application of the rules of the universe.
When has One Piece been consistent? The only thing that's consistent about One Piece that's happened is stuff.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's where you've lost me.
No. What I'm saying, the fact that how it applies, how things work in the universe.
Let's compare. Because you do the difference. Okay, Naruto and One Piece. I'm going to put them both right here. Which one of them is more real world inclined?
Huh?
Out of Naruto and One Piece, which one's more real world inclined? It's Naruto. There's not even a question like that.
No. So I haven't finished One Piece, so I'm not all the way caught up with One Piece.
But just in the 135 episodes we watched, and you take 135 episodes in Naruto, gravity affects things very much so in Naruto because they use thrown objects, and a thrown object's different than a gun because you have to use stuff like that, like trajectory and stuff like that.
No. So they actually work the same. If the concept is the same, it's just one's thrown with much more power.
You're missing what I'm saying. Okay, the thrown object, Itachi, Sasuke, the Shuriken practice, how them hitting targets having to go around objects and stuff. That's what I mean by real world inclined.
You have to do the same thing with a bullet. It just has more range than someone throwing something. I'm not saying you don't. What I'm saying is who implies it more. In One Piece and Naruto, who implies those physics and knowledge more? The answer is Naruto, 100% of the time, because they use thrown objects. They don't use guns. They've shown to use trajectory and throwing things around stuff. But guns they're basically extra step of thrown objects.
But see, this is what you're doing. I'm taking what's happening in the show and telling you how it is in the real world. You're taking things in the real world and trying to apply them to the show.
I'm applying the things that the show takes from the real world and saying the application is inconsistent. But telling me that they're the same thing when Naruto literally portrays them way more in detail than One Piece does. Like, the most we see happen in One Piece is just guns shoot and go. In Naruto, we see Shuriken's path. We see them go to hit a target, and we see the area in which it took them to hit that target. That's what I mean. Like, that's real world, examples of those things. That's not making the point I think you think it's making.
Well, let me finish. So, literally, in those things, the stuff you're doing right now, saying density and all that matters, you can do those calculations in Naruto and it come to a real number because it has more aspects of the real world than One Piece does. So it'll make sense over there. What I'm trying to tell you.
Hold up real quick. We do have to say, if we're like encompassing everything, that like in 130 episodes, let's say, and we're not gonna count Shippuden. We're gonna do the 35 episodes of filler in Naruto, right? Because the first 100 episodes of Naruto, roughly. That there's less in common in early Naruto with the real world than One Piece.
It's better than One Piece, though. Like, what I'm telling you...
No, I'm talking about because there's, like, the spiritual aspect and stuff like that.
See, you're taking what I'm saying. The spiritual aspect, all that doesn't matter right now. The only thing that matters is the real world concept.
But that's why...
That's what I'm telling you.
That's why I'm saying I don't think, like, what you're saying doesn't rebuttal the argument I'm making. Is what I'm trying to get at. So, my entire argument was that the fact that how the aspects that they took from the real world, Oda, like, says they work one way, and then because it's convenient for the plot, work a different way.
Oda literally said dinosaurs work a different way for the plot. And nobody, like, it's a fictional story. No.
But every time there's dinosaurs, they work that way, roughly.
Not in One Piece.
What you mean?
So, do you know what I'm talking about when I took dinosaurs and run them a different way before I even get into that?
No. Real quick. What, when you say a different way, what do you mean?
This man, Oda, had a Brachiosaurus shoot its whole neck out, and the concepts was that's what he thinks dinosaurs work that way. And we all know that they don't.
It's just that he thinks it's cool. That's fine.
So if that's fine, how is him making a big old fist and punching through stuff not? That's what I'm getting at. Because you can't take something here and says it makes sense here and accept everything that doesn't make sense, then look at something else and says this doesn't make sense and it bothers me.
Here's the thing. You just proved my point exactly.
How?
But you just don't realize. So, look, my entire argument is it messes up my suspension of disbelief because the concepts are inconsistent. Not the things, not the fact that Luffy can blow his arm up. It's that because it becomes less dense when he blows the arm up. So if it's less dense, it should do less damage. Because density as a concept exists almost one-to-one with the real-world counterpart.
Not one-to-one.
Almost.
Not even almost. Not even a little bit.
It's more than 50% one-to-one.
What do you...
No. I'll say...
You have lost me completely. What do you mean? We're looking at a fictional whole thing. Gravity doesn't work the same. Density doesn't work the same. Literally, force doesn't work the same do in the real world. What are we talking about?
No. Gravity works the same. It just works in a different speed in One Piece.
Then it's not the same.
No. Gravity. Okay, so gravity is the same. Just the amount of force exerted by the gravity is different in the real world. That's the only difference. So the Earth's gravity
work the same. If it exerts a different amount of force, you do realize that the calculations will be different if it exerts a different amount of force.
No. Look. So this, I think I see where the disconnect is. So the calculations will be different, right? Like, you're right, the calculations will be different, but that doesn't mean it's a different thing if you use the same equation.
But you do realize we started this whole thing saying you can't put real world concepts in a fictional world.
You have to put real world concepts in a fictional world,
no,
or
you don't.
Can't connect to it.
You can't. You don't have to.
I got a quick question. The concept of friendship, where's that come from?
The real world. Okay.
The concept of living beings, where's that? No. Look.
We're talking spiritual here. Nobody will ever disagree that having friends is bad because it's meant to portray us.
No.
In
What
the
I'm
real
saying
world.
is there has to be more in common with the real world than not in common with the real world for people to be able to make an emotional connection with the story.
But the stuff you're looking at doesn't have to be consistent, is what I'm telling you. Yes.
No.
Friendships and relations have to matter. Of course, dude going down a path that we can fathom as, yes, this hurt. We have to be able to go with that. I get that. But you're taking density, force, real world calculations and putting them in there saying that this doesn't make sense.
No, what? No. You're misunderstanding why I'm saying it doesn't make sense.
I really am.
I'm saying if it works like, it works similar to the real world here in the story. Like, in parts of the story, the concept works not exactly the same, but the calculation, like, you don't use the same numbers, but you'd use the same equation here at this point of the story, right? Other parts of the story, it doesn't work. That concept, the One Piece's version of that concept doesn't work at this point of the story, is what I'm saying.
And give me the 2 points in which they don't in the
like
plot
the story
itself.
Like the story's logic of how something that it took from real life.
What episode? Give me 2 points so I can look at it and say that. Literally, give me.
My point is so the reason people think, and that's why I brought up Kid Sanji specifically, because he doesn't have a devil fruit.
He also got thrown in the water during the shipwreck. So what's the...
No. But being thrown in the water, there's more friction in water than there is in air. And that's a thing in One Piece too, but that doesn't matter. So he got thrown in it, yes. But if he was less dense than the water, he would have rose. Is what I'm getting at. Like, he would have naturally come to the surface.
How long would that take? Do you know how deep in the water he was? Do you even know what everything that was going on around? Do you know how long it took Zeph to jump in that water to go? Did he have enough time? So that's what I'm talking about. There are other factors involved
I'm saying,
that not
even
make
when
sense.
he died, he would have rose to the surface.
But he did. What you're talking about hypotheticals now?
No, it's not hypothetical. It's that, like, so Zeph went down because he was gonna die if we didn't go get him, right?
Like Sanji was gonna die?
Yeah, like Sanji was.
It's implied, but it's a lot of things. See, this is why I say we don't take real world concepts and put them into fiction, because literally there's not enough time to let's say what happened.
So,
like, he jumped in, because that's literally, bruh, like, it's meant for Zeph to look noble. For it to work actual in the real world don't even matter. Like, if Zeph don't go save him and wait till he wash up on a island or something, it don't matter. But at the end of the day, he jumped in and saved him.
That's not, none of that, Matt. What I'm saying is, Sanji, like, he would have been dead Sanji, but he would have rose to the top as dead. Like, dead Sanji after he drowned. The rules of the One Piece universe is that he'd come to the surface. Like,
I'm still lost. Like, what does that do? Because, like, you're literally taking a situation that happened one way, saying, what if it happened this way?
No, I'm not. I'm saying different. That we know. So, submarines work in One Piece.
And saved them.
No. So, no. What I'm getting at, density works. It might not work exactly the same as it does here. Density and gravity work more similar than they don't work similarly to our world in One Piece. We can agree to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, they might not be 1-to-1, but they can be ratioed together.
Yeah.
Like, they're super close.
Yeah.
Like, they're more alike than they are different.
But still,
no, that's what I'm getting.
Take real world concepts and put them here.
No.
That's still like
no. If there's look, what you're not so. There's more similar to One Piece than our real world. We can agree to that, right? There's more similar than there is different. Because you got to think about it like. Because they have water, they have, like, there's more similar than different. Like, there's a bunch of shit that's similar. But there's infinitely more things that are similar than there are that are different. It's like there's an infinite number of things that are different, but there's 2 to 3 as many times things that are similar that are infinite too. Right? Because infinities aren't all the same. So, those two concepts, gravity and density, work almost the exact same between One Piece and our world, right?
I'm, again, like, not putting real world concepts in this. I don't look at it like that.
No, you but are
that's
putting
fine.
real world.
No, you're right.
No. What
Continue.
I'm saying is, the entire point of our podcast here wouldn't work if we couldn't put real world concepts into One Piece as well.
We're doing psychological.
I got a quick question. Is that a concept from the real world or fictional?
It is, but that's what I'm trying to get. See, if I take this phone and I go, it's a lot of different worlds out here. Or if I was to take this phone, drop it, gravity would work on it differently no matter which world I went into.
No. It would work on it the same. It just wouldn't be as fast.
Gravity's different in different worlds than it is here. Whichever way it works, it's not the same here. It's not going to do the same thing if I did it here, if I did it there. That's all I'm saying.
No. I got a quick question. How would it be different?
If I drop it here and it falls, it could probably just fall and break. Goku and them got a freaking machine there that says they can put the gravity to crazy to where if I drop this, it go right through the world. What world concept is that? Because that don't exist out here. The only freaking thing we can sit there is put it with hypotheticals that we haven't tested.
Like, that's the thing. It doesn't work in this room, but it works in other places in the universe.
But not here. And nobody here has seen anywhere else that it worked. We only making theories.
No, we've seen places where it works.
Where?
The sun has like 10 billion times the Earth.
Yeah, so you mean to tell me somebody went up to the sun, did this, and seen where it went? I'm talking about if it hit the floor.
No. I'm saying, so we have an equation for what happens if you drop that.
Again, these are all real world, non-fictional things. We're critiquing a fictional world. To sit here and say things in our non-fictional world should work here is blasphemous.
No. I'm saying, I'm not saying that fact is why it's dumb. I'm saying the fact that they show you that it works similar to how it works here, but magically when the plot needs it not to do the thing, it doesn't work similarly.
What did it not do that it was supposed to do?
So
that's probably the best thing you can tell me.
Okay, so with the elephant gun makes sense because hockey, right?
How?
Because hockey makes sense
in the real world. Hockey does not exist in the real world. So how does it all of a sudden make sense?
No. That's not what I get. Like, it makes sense in the laws of the universe that it exists in.
So how doesn't it? Like, we literally, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's
like the devil fruits in the sense do something different to somebody's body. How does that not? Like, I'm confused. That's like we going in there telling these folks how hot they fire is supposed to be. Or, bro, you confuse me.
So what I'm saying is that how the One Piece, like the world of One Piece works, is inconsistent, and that ruins my suspension of disbelief at parts.
Where is it inconsistent?
I just named it so hockey makes it like elephant gun makes it consistent.
That's wrong.
That it's stronger than a normal punch.
Because hockey's a fictional
you're saying
aspect.
Look. You're saying it's wrong, but you don't understand what I'm saying because you can't tell me what I'm saying. That's how I know you don't know if it's wrong.
You're telling me density and force and stuff is inconsistent in One Piece because where it should work, it doesn't work, and where it doesn't work, it should work. Right? Then you tell me the elephant gun works.
You missed a very important
part. What's the very important point? I'm gonna go back. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write all this down so I can make sure I got this because I'm really confused. I really am. So I'm
in the world of One Piece.
Let's just
in the world of One Piece, right? The world of One Piece. Internal logic, right?
That is fiction. We gotta keep that this is a fictional story.
Yeah, but it has an internal logic. No. Real quick, does One Piece have an internal logic to it? Not eternal, but internal.
Like, you mean like its own physics and all that stuff?
Like its own self-contained logical system.
What do you mean?
Like
its own, like, are you mean like its own metrics, its own physics, its own the way it works? Its own, like, capsulate, like its own.
For the most part, yes.
So, I mean, it's different from out here, right? That's what you're saying?
Yes.
So, we have now just proved my entire point.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
No. The thing is, you don't realize that you just proved my point, and you just don't understand my point enough. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't understand what my point is. So it has its own internal logic, right? That doesn't mean it can't take from our logic, does it?
I never say it couldn't take from our logic.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't make it the same as our logic.
No. What I'm saying is that So, when it comes to the density thing, so what I'm saying is, according to One Piece's own like the logic of One Piece, density works almost the same in One Piece as it does in our world. Not exactly the same, but for the most part, right? The eternal logic of One Piece is density is almost the exact same, right? We can agree to that, right?
I'm with you.
No. We can agree to that part.
No, I'm with you.
So, how density in the One Piece universe works here, like works in this point in time, isn't always the same way density works in the One Piece universe.
Where?
The elephant gun, or not elephant gun.
No, use something different. No, don't. No, use an example that you don't have to explain something else in order to tell me. Don't say, "Oh, hockey's a factor here that makes it different."
No, I didn't mean to say. I just meant Gear 3.
Again, I'm gonna need actual examples.
So, what is Gear 3, real quick? Just
Gear 3. It's when he blows his hand up and punches.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, like if he did it to his blood vessels, he would probably die. So that's why I'm assuming.
You're assuming.
We have to assume because blood vessels work like how they do in the real world in One Piece. That's why they can lose blood.
Really? Blood vessels and all that stuff works the same? Really? Nah.
As a rule, yes. Like there's exceptions to the rules. How does it not?
What do you mean, how does it not?
How does it not work? For the average person in One Piece, how do blood vessels, veins, the circular system, how does that work different?
You caught up in everything. You tell me.
Where's their heart in the One Piece world?
Place. It's in the same place.
What's the heart do?
It pumps blood.
Through what?
A heart.
No. Through what?
Okay, through the veins.
And blood vessels, right?
Okay.
And artery. Yeah. So the arteries and veins are just, they both fall under blood vessel. Veins is the thing that take it away, or to the other things. The artery is the one that takes it into everything, right? Mm-hmm. So they work like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's different for the average person in One Piece?
You talking about people without devil fruit, without everything, without going into nothing.
For the average person in One Piece. For the average person in One Piece, how's it different from the circular system in real life?
I'll give you that. You're right.
Yeah.
It's the same.
So, if Luffy loses...
Everything that's been going on, is plenty of times he should have died and he hasn't by real world logic that don't exist here. If that's the case, bro, like when he sit there and Crocodile win it and tried to take the moisture out of his body, he wouldn't been able to put that shit back. He had no way to put that shit back.
But that doesn't mess up the eternal logic of One Piece. Because we've seen shit like that happens all the time.
So, again, how does the Gear 3 messes up the logic? We've seen...
That's what I've been trying to explain to you this whole time. Is that in every other moment, density works the same way it does in real life. Density works the same way. But because Gear 3 looks cool, Big Punch look cool, it magically no longer does. And that's what I said ruins my suspension of disbelief. And would you like in it the definition of suspension of disbelief?
No. Like, at this point, I'm just going to assume that it's a personal thing for you.
That's what I said at the beginning when you started arguing me about it.
The suspension of disbelief. I just don't understand, dude. I just don't understand.
Suspension of disbelief is the reader's / watcher's willingness to suspend doubt and believe the unbelievable for the sake of enjoyment.
But it still goes back to what I said. We can't put real world concepts in a fictional standpoint. So you using a real world concept, explaining it to me does not make sense to me because this is a fictional world. The real world concepts of Disney and all that will not work the same every time.
No, what I'm trying, so I think I understand what you're trying to say, but you're saying it incorrectly.
If you can figure out what I'm saying, but I might be saying it incorrectly, then I did not say it incorrectly. If I said something completely incorrect that you can't take any kind of way from, then I would have to explain it.
No, I'm saying, I think from the context of what you're trying to say, I could piece together, but you can't say you can't put real world concepts into official.
You can't. I'm standing by that, bro. I'll die on that hill. You can't. Not everything. I ain't gonna say
define a real world aspect.
Every real world concept. What do you mean define a real world concept?
Define a real world aspect.
The relationships. The way most people sit there. Yes, you can.
You just said you couldn't.
I said not. Okay. You can't judge it by off of that. You sitting there saying that this don't make sense.
No. Now this is. I never said you couldn't judge it off that. I said you can judge it by the inconsistencies that the world applies its real world concept.
Like, bro, again, but the concept you're using is not going to be right every time. No.
I'm saying, so at certain points of the story, certain concepts, other things have this problem too, and it bothers me with them. But it's just like, we're talking about One Piece right now, so that's why I'm using one. But the application of the real world concept is inconsistent. Not with the real world concept, but with how the world of One Piece uses that concept is not always the same.
And I'm not understanding how that's a problem. It's a fictional world.
Because a fictional world has to follow its own internal logic, or it ruins people's ability to suspend it.
At the end of the day,
it's not a reach. I just don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I don't think know it. I'm telling you, I don't understand. It's not a thing.
So, since this is an anime channel, what's that anime that you don't like? You're like me. You don't like slice of life. That makes sense. Or how about this? A stupid moment in shonen that makes no sense. It can be in something you love, though. But it can be something that just doesn't make sense that happened in the story. Like an inconsistent application of what's happening in the story.
I'm like cycling through like 8 animes right now.
Yeah, but there's at least one or two you can think of off the top of your head, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know they exist, but I'm trying to pull one out.
Because that's my entire argument is because I'm really into physics and I read a bunch of physics stuff in my free time. Because that's the entire thing it ruins my suspension of disbelief.
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm just telling you I don't understand.
I'm trying to explain. So those stupid moments you can think of. I'm gonna say right?
Kakashi with the Sharingan.
Like having Sharingan, or like he gets Mangekyou Go.
Yeah, all that. Like how in Naruto, only Uchiha is supposed to have the Sharingan. Kakashi has one artificially. Yet unlocks Mangekyou in it, unlocks the Mangekyou powers and all that. And
he doesn't unlock the Mangekyou Go with the rules that the universe imparted for unlocking Mangekyou Go, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to have an intense emotional problem. That's why Sarada's doesn't feel forced.
No, Sarada's actually
like it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it expanded it.
That's what so Kakashi being able to not just have the Sharingan, but have it to a level that some of the greatest members of the Uchiha clan that had it kind of messes with your suspension of disbelief, right?
Like, in what way, though? Because it's not like I'm sitting here saying, like I don't care.
No. What I'm saying, it's inconsistent with the rules of the universe.
But that doesn't take away from nothing. Like, that's just a small speck. Like, oh, I can see that. But that don't make... No. That doesn't make the Kamui less enjoyable. That doesn't... life putting out. Again, that's a small speck. Like, yeah, it's not consistent with the way it's supposed to happen, but do I want Kakashi to not have a Sharingan now? No. Do I, want Kakashi to do something different? No. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, Kakashi's still one of my favorite Naruto characters, whether it's consistent or it's not consistent. Like, it's not a big deal to me. Like, that's what I'm saying. You enjoy the physics side of everything, and I think that's where this is all going. Because you enjoy the physics side of everything, you imply that to what you're doing and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But what I'm telling you is something as deep and very specific and calculated as physics. You can't put that in a world where you, first off, you don't even know all the calculations.
First I do want to point out, before we get it, the entire argument started because I said it ruins my suspension of disbelief, and you asked how.
Yeah.
And the entire argument was me trying to show you how, from my perspective, it can mess up, and sometimes messes up my enjoyment.
I understand all. Oh my God. No, I understand all that, but I just don't understand. Like, no matter what's going, through all this stuff, I just don't understand.
Yeah, but the entire argument, it was not even like a traditional argument. It was just, since sometimes physics in real world exist in One Piece, and because the plot demands that it not sometimes, messes up my enjoyment of
that's
the world.
Okay. If that's okay for you.
What I'm trying
I just don't understand.
That's what I'm trying to,
that's fine. I never said argument. That was not true. I just don't understand.
Then a secondary argument bloomed from that, which is the real world concepts can't go in fictional works. And I
don't mean they can't. I'm just saying you can't expect everything in a fictional world to match 100% with the real world.
I'm not expecting it to match with the real world. I'm just saying if they take, because physics does exist in One Piece. The numbers aren't the same for us, but the how you work out the numbers are the same, right? We can agree to that, right?
To come to the sum you're trying to get, you would use the same formulas?
Yes, our formulas and equations are the same. Just the acceleration due to gravity on Earth is lowercase g, and it's approximately 9.81 meters per second squared. The One Piece world, they have acceleration due to gravity because we know that because they stay on the ground, but it's probably a different number than our world, right?
No, it most certainly probably
that's what I'm saying. They have the same equations, and how we know that is because they're not floating off the Earth randomly.
That's not how you would say that, though. There's other factors in place. Because even just in general, the One Piece world is bigger than ours.
Possibly.
So, if it's a bigger world, of course, gravity and stuff's going to affect things differently.
They don't have, the same style of continents.
Yeah, of course they don't.
They don't have...
Their water to land ratio is different than ours. Even the way it's set up, that's what I'm saying. Bro, what's the one? The freaking anime that's on a... Can't freaking think. But nah, okay, Avatar, not Last Airbender, Blue People. They're on a totally different planet. That's not well, they're on Pandora doing hella different stuff. Yeah, it might work similarly, but their atmospheric pressure's different.
No. Here's the thing. No, all that stuff is the same. The numbers are just different.
How do you know? Has the creator come out and say that?
No, because it uses the fact that they're not so when it comes to gravity, for example, they're not randomly floating off the face of the Earth.
Yeah, they have gravity. The presence of it, yeah.
Yeah. So the gravity's there. The number of the force gravity is exerting is different. Not the fact that it's there. Is what I'm saying. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
And that's all I'm saying. Is that when it becomes inconsistent by the rules that the universe put into play, that's when it bothers me.
And that's okay for it to bother you, but I don't see the same thing, and I can't.
It's not just like those concepts. It's just also the concepts that the universe put in place, like the Sharingan thing with Kakashi. Like the Mekingo doesn't really make sense that he has it, other than that. Like it's cool that he has it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
but does that change anything?
Or I don't know if it's cool that it has. It's lit that he has it because they have like different connotations.
It's cool that he has it. It's nice that he has it. Those are all synonyms.
But they're not always synonyms. That's why.
It's a synonym in this context.
I think I like to be as precise as possible with the words I'm using.
Yeah.
That way it doesn't confuse myself later.
Such thing as trying to be too precise. That's a such thing. Because you try to get to a solution.
Well,
it almost doesn't exist.
The thing to be too precise though is in this moment would take way more than that. So I'm fine with being more precise than average.
No, like I said, I just don't understand the whole thing. Like it doesn't change anything. Like at the end of the day, for me, like I can point this stuff out all day, but the things I look for when I look at a literature,
but when you point it out, what I'm saying,
it doesn't do anything to me like it does to you. Like I'll see it, but those aren't the things that make me feel weird watching things.
No, but it makes it. It might not ruin it for you, but it makes it marginally less enjoyable.
Nope.
Especially if they stack up.
Nope.
Well, another thing is Naruto doesn't have a ton of those moments either. Like it doesn't have a ton of moments where and One Piece admittedly doesn't have purposefully a ton of those moments either. It's just like the little thing. But I just notice every time it happens. I just happen to notice it every time it happens.
I get it. That's fine if you want to do that. If you want to,
but that's also why I'm saying
put physics in there and do that. By all means, more power to you.
I didn't put physics in it to do it. Oda put physics in there. Oda put the physics in there. I didn't do it. He just has an inconsistent application of the physics.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He just has inconsistent application.
Until I see somebody with a devil fruit swim, then I'll understand what you mean. But until then, I just can't. I don't understand.
Like, what you mean when you see someone with a devil fruit?
When I see someone with a devil fruit swim, that's when I will agree that it's inconsistent with stuff that's supposed to happen in the story, and then I can understand wholeheartedly what you mean. So
I'm counting the laws of the universe as part of the story because the story takes place in a universe where those laws exist.
Yeah, but they're not like.
And you can't say they're not. You can't say they're not important to the story.
I wasn't gonna say they weren't important. What I was gonna say, in Dragon Ball's case, they took the idea of gravity and spun it in a way that made it work for Goku, and we were all okay with that. But in One Piece, dude, like it's a difference to when there are things going on and that are actually bad, and things that are going on you're trying to make bad. And this feels like one of those things that you're trying to make bad.
No, I'm not trying to make bad.
That's what it feels like to me.
Okay.
Like,
why does it feel that way?
Because that's such a finite detail for everything that's going on. To say that it doesn't line up right, it's like, are you really even watching? So that's what it feels like.
So it's not because it happened one time that it bothers me. It's that it happens every time it happens. It's just... The best example is that it happened this one time.
But if it happened every time it happened the same way you're saying it, doesn't that make it consistent with the universe we're critiquing?
No, so
Because if it happens every time you see it, that means it's a factor in the universe we're critiquing. That, yeah, I'm completely lost.
No.
Now.
So the inconsistency is every time we see third gear, but every time the ship floats, it's working correctly.
Huh?
So almost every frame of One Piece, it works this one way. But Gear Third says it doesn't work that way.
What does Gear Third have to do with the ship?
Things float because they're less dense than the
float, though.
Because he's less dense, or he's more dense than water, is what I'm getting at.
Because he has a devil fruit.
No, it's because he's less dense than water. He can't swim because he has a devil fruit. And we know that's why I use Kid Sanji and Law's submarine as examples. So I see almost every moment of it works. Except for this shot needs to look cool. But then once Haki comes along, Haki changes it because Haki fundamentally changes everything. And that's why Elephant Gun's fine. It makes sense that it's more powerful than a normal punch.
I still can't grasp that idea. No matter which way you spin it, I still can't grasp that idea. And it makes it even worse when you put Haki in it, because Haki is it's still a fictional aspect that doesn't really change much.
No. It changes everything.
The thing, no, I mean, like, in just what you're talking about, like,
especially my understanding of armament Haki.
Oh my god, like this.
Because so why Haki makes it make sense, right? Is Haki, when you use it as armament Haki, it like surrounds it in energy, right? A type of it, not like ki, but like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a type of energy. That means that when it hits something, it would be stronger. So that makes sense. That's why Elephant Gun makes sense. That is stronger than a normal Haki punch. Or Haki, not hockey. I accidentally said the sport. It makes sense in my brain that Elephant Gun is stronger because there's more energy in Elephant Gun than a normal Haki fortified punch from Luffy. Because there's more place to put, like, there's more stuff surrounded by energy in Elephant Gun.
Okay.
So it makes sense.
So let's okay. I'm just gonna take the two disparities in front: Elephant Gun and Giant Pistol. Because those are the two things that are in comparison right now.
Well, it's not just giant. It's giant anything
let me
Haki.
Hold on, because I'm trying to rack this around, and you also, keep saying not this, but this, not this, but this, bro.
It also fucks me up in Marvel stuff, too, when they have giant.
Don't even mention... Hold on. No, because, look. Because here's the thing. I'm trying to... A balloon, okay? An actual hot air balloon. Do you think if an actual hot air balloon crashed into something, it wouldn't do no damage? Like, at all. Like, at all. Not even a little bit.
No, it would do some damage.
And we talking about something just floating in the air. It shouldn't make a difference versus Giant Pistol, because they don't explicitly say just how, like, strong, dense, whatever Haki actually makes anything.
Yeah, but I can suspend my belief that it would not be stronger.
But if you can suspend your belief that it wouldn't be stronger, how you can't suspend your belief that this dude just...
Because Haki explains the reason not to believe it.
How does Haki explain it? Haki only told us that it's affirmative of someone's will and gave us the types and what they're used for and stuff like that.
And that it can make you physically tougher or stronger. Because you got to remember, the first time we see Haki is the Boa Hancock's people. They're able to shoot arrows that are stronger than bullets.
Because of armament Haki.
Yeah. And they're not even trained in armament Haki. They just naturally are trained to use Haki. And so we have been explained that Haki, if you wanted to make things stronger, make things significantly stronger than normal.
But at the same time, we know Luffy isn't rubber. We know that now, Hito no Mi, model Nika, it's all got to do with Luffy's imagination. So now because that's where my mind's going.
So Gear 5 has to do with his imagination, right?
No, the whole thing. That's Luffy's power. Not just Gear 5. It's described Luffy's power has something to do with his imagination. Because he doesn't have the gum fruit. It's Hito fruit model Nika. So that is his power. Not that just Gear 5. No. Everything he has in Gear 5, he's supposed to be able to do around trip. But the only reason we can't is what we theorize as fans, which might not be true, is that because he still believes he has gum powers. That's my theory. That he hasn't put in the perspective that I actually got Nika powers. So, but all that stuff going back, like, how is he able to do fire? Like, that's something that people were breaking. Yeah, Red Hawk. He can produce fire on his punches. That don't make sense.
Well, so there is it. So I actually thought it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
For one simple reason, if you punch something fast enough, your fist will catch on fire. In real life, it's just we can't punch that fast. Like a human can't. But if you're in air, like if you're like surrounded by air, the friction from you punching fast enough will catch your hand on fire. So it makes sense that his hand will catch on fire because Luffy is faster than a bullet. If he can run faster than a bullet, you can punch way faster than you can run. Because Luffy can dodge bullets.
Yeah.
Consistently. Or he at the beginning of the story, he can react to bullets perfectly. Like he can roll them, like roll with bullets.
He the first time we see Red Hawk, he does it underwater.
There's more friction in water than there is in air.
But it's water. Fires can't combust underwater.
They can for a split second.
Luffy doesn't do it for a split second. So that's...
No. It takes a second of our time.
It takes a second of our time.
So how long did the crocodile fight take us to watch?
What you mean?
The first crocodile fight takes 5 minutes of showtime, right?
I guess. I don't know.
It takes a couple of seconds of action.
You talking about in One Piece?
Yeah. A fight will take us 5 minutes to watch, but our brain, it's like the Tournament of Power and how
That's
it takes.
What my mind went to
it takes. There's only 45 minutes in the Tournament of Power, but it takes us to watch it 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because so much happens in 1 second. Because there's so much faster than us.
They're going different points of view and everything.
Well, it's not just points of view. Here. It's also 1 second for Goku is 10 minutes for us because his brain works so much faster than ours.
Well, yeah.
That Luffy's brain works faster than ours too.
So I'm not
because he wouldn't be able to track trajectory of bullets if he wasn't. And before he masters hockey, he could do that.
But
so that's what I'm saying. What I'm getting at is those don't fuck with my suspension of disbelief at all because it makes sense. It makes sense in the laws of the universe. It doesn't make sense in real life. I get that it doesn't make sense in real life.
Boy, I got a headache now.
It doesn't make sense in real life, right?
Dude, none of it makes sense. At this point, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. I don't even know.
So the idea of all this shit happening makes sense in the world of One Piece.
No. We did not just have this whole conversation for a whole hour just for me to say something that doesn't make sense in the real world and you to literally agree with me.
But my entire thing is that I'm mad that it doesn't make sense in One Piece.
No, you can't be a physics person, then sit there and I'll tell you some physics don't matter, and then you take this one thing. No.
Then you don't understand my argument from the get-go.
I'll never understand at this point. I'll never understand.
You'll never understand, or you don't want to understand?
Bro, I'm having a headache trying to
understand it.
Bro, I have a legit headache from trying to understand this stuff. If I didn't want to understand, bro, I guarantee you I would not be talking right now. If I really did not want to understand, I would not even be having this conversation with you at all. Because I don't If I don't want to, I don't go around trying to understand. Like, oh my God, I'm still on camera. I can't say that. I don't go try to understand things that I don't want to understand. If I don't want to understand it, it's over there, and I don't have to look at it. I literally have a headache right now trying to understand this.
So let me put it in the simplest terms I can, because I'm not a smart man, so I can't explain it perfectly, but because everything I'm saying has to do with the world of One Piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Oda says something works this way,
it has to be consistent through the whole way through, or else it
doesn't
make sense.
It doesn't make sense in One Piece. Because I can believe the unbelievable as long as it's taking place in a framework that is consistent. And my entire argument is it's not consistent. And that's what bothers me.
But you told me it was non-consistent every time you see it. Every time you see Gear Third, it's not consistent with what you see. That's what you told me, right? Please tell me.
Not consistent with every other time in the show where we see the same application.
But every time you see Gear Third, that's when you see that, right?
Yep.
But that makes it consistent with Gear Third.
But it doesn't make it consistent with the rules of the story. And that's what I'm getting at. Because we, like, 90% of the show, at least what I've seen of the show, because I'm not all the way caught up. I'm like on episode like 700, right? Every episode I've seen of it, almost all of it, has something floating in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain's just like, density exists here. Makes sense, cool. Density exists here. Makes sense, cool. 90% of the time that I'm watching it, my brain's just like, density, gravity, all this stuff happens here. Awesome. But Gear Third says no.
When have you even seen him use Gear Third in the water, though? That's the big thing. Like, when is him...
Just,
like,
I think Elephant Gun is the only time.
He's never been in the water with Gear Third, though. Like, when has he been in the water, inflated with Gear Third? And I can agree with you then.
Like, what's it called? Elephant Gun is just hockey applied to Gear Third, right?
Right.
He uses it at the very start of the Fishman Island arc. It's how he knocks out the octopus.
Yeah, he was in the bubble. Yeah.
But he's still underwater.
Yeah, but he was in the bubble.
No, but that adds even more credence to what I said, because he can float because he's in the bubble, because the bubble makes him less dense than the water.
But
that's why he's able to float.
But how is that different than what we talking about right now, though?
No, I'm saying the reason.
Because the whole problem is with Gear Third and him being dense enough to do enough damage. That's how all this started.
Yeah, but Elephant Gun, it makes sense that it's much stronger than a normal punch because the rules of hockey in universe.
But here's where it's different, though. Because, what's his face? No, because who can I use for an example?
Because
it's not. The thing is,
it's not an inconsistent.
Hockey doesn't dictate that it's a strong attack. It doesn't just mean it's a strong attack because you have hockey on it.
If you have armament hockey, it makes it a stronger attack.
But how strong, though?
I might not know the numbers, but the story told me, through not just explicitly telling me, but through context clues, the story told me if you add armament hockey to stuff, it makes it exponentially more powerful than normal.
Okay, I'm with that. I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
I'm going back to the Gear Third thing because.
But also, there's also another important aspect is the more area to we also learn, because it's like if you shoot a ballista with hockey on it as opposed to a bow, an arrow, because you know
shot a ballista with hockey on it.
No. I'm just saying we know. Like the rules of the game is if you apply more hockey over a bigger thing, it's exponentially stronger than if they were to ratio like 2-to-1 with like just the ballista, for example. If they were like 1-to-1, the bigger thing would be more than twice as strong as the thing that's half its size. So, because, like, we don't know the exact amount how much hockey makes things stronger, but it's roughly an exponential scale.
What? No, because where I was going...
Well, exponential doesn't just mean doubling.
No, because the thing why I'm saying why elephant gun doesn't make sense with it making sense, because if you say that he's not supposed to be able to do enough damage just with regular gear third, then for elephant gun it don't matter, because what I was saying, just having hockey doesn't just make it a stronger attack, because we've seen Kobe. Well, you haven't seen that. I'm not going to use that example.
You can use the example. Because
in Kobe's sense, when he first got seen by, what's the girl? Jenna just watched this scene when who was that shit? He popped on somebody's ship and he used because we've seen Kobe use hockey twice.
Yeah, I think you showed me the scan of this scene. He uses the miniature version of Garp's ultimate attack.
Yeah.
That one?
No, was that? No, he didn't fight at Boa and them. No, he didn't fight at Boa. Shit. Because he used hockey the first time when we seen it, and he punched, but it was to defend.
Oh, you mean the first time we seen him use armament hockey?
Yeah, and then in the split, I told you, which is still, he's using hockey, but it's like, that's a whole different scale.
So how it makes, I get what you're saying now. So how it makes sense in my head is Luffy's an idiot, right?
Yeah.
And he was quick to learn hockey, but he's like considered a master of it now, but he hasn't mastered advanced hockey, right. Or at least armament. At that moment, he hasn't mastered advanced armament hockey, right? So my head, like, it totally makes sense that Luffy, because the fist is bigger, he can conceptualize using more hockey. He just doesn't have the control to use that much hockey with a normal fist, and that is consistent with what happens later in the same arc. Because he can't put as much hockey into a normal Gum Gum Gatlin as he can in the elephant gun.
Now we're talking about
in the same arc.
Hockey he can put in?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's why it makes sense.
Fishman Island?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the last arc I finished.
I mean, I ain't going to disagree with that.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it makes sense. Like, it's not, elephant gun's always going to be stronger. It's just at this moment, while he has incomplete mastery, it makes absolutely fucking perfect sense. Because Luffy he has to pour more hockey in the greater surface area, and that's why it's stronger.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's why it makes absolute perfect sense to me. And it breaks absolutely no rules that the universe put forward. If anything, it reinforces all the rules that the universe put forward up to that point. Like, it reinforces all the new rules that we learned right after. Like, the first 5 episodes before and the first 5 episodes after. They're just set up to teach you the new rules of the universe that were just unlocked.
For, like, Fishman Island case?
Well, I'm saying, like, Sabaody 1 or Sabaody 2 and Luffy preparing and everyone ending up on their island and training.
So you talking about 3D2Y?
I guess. I don't really know what
that's
that term
the training, the time before time skip where everybody else was.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, everyone's training and then coming to Sabaody to show what they learned while training. Those episodes reinforce the rules of the universe that we just learned, is what I'm saying. Like, we didn't know hockey existed before all this stuff happened, and now it just shows us what hockey is, and then reinforce. Like, it's like before we were in Algebra 1, and then the 5 episodes of Sabaody 2, or I think it's more than 5 episodes, I can't remember. It just reinforces all that stuff. So we have a complete groundwork for the new rules of the universe. Like, they're not just stronger because they train, but they learned a new rule of the universe. And so now if they're even stronger than we could have imagined before, than they were before the time skip, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. We're still talking about hockey and stuff.
Yeah.
I get all that. Like, that's 100.
Like, it reinforces the rules of the universe, so it makes the stuff that wouldn't have made sense possibly before, it makes it make sense by default, because when it comes to hockey, because we didn't know the extent of hockey. Like, we still don't know the full extent of hockey, but we've had it explained better than it was before, is what I'm trying to get at. And it's a very good writing device on Oda's part. It's like Naruto, and like, it's bullshit that Kakashi has Mangekyo can go without doing the extra steps, but Kishimoto takes the time to explain that it wasn't just an upgrade for the sake of an upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, he needed it to be able to exist further. And
of course.
It reinforces the laws of the universe. Like, it starts off as something that's just like, that's weird, but he uses it to strengthen what's like the other laws that the universe is going to put forward later. So he's basically putting the foundation down.
Does understanding that Luffy's power is based on imagination, so that if he imagines he's hitting hard, he's going to hit hard, like, at least not everything, but at least as much as he can with what he has? Because what you just said, hold on, because if I understand you correctly, you agree with me that in the beginning, Kakashi's having Sharingan was weird, right?
Actually, I have a better way to explain.
Hold on, let me stay on this string.
Kakashi having
Kishimoto showing the point which Kakashi hit Rin and Obito saw it, showed why he got Mekingyo, which made that make sense why he had it.
But the thing that doesn't make sense about it is that he didn't unlock it at the same time.
What you mean? Oh, if he didn't unlock it at the same time.
No. Like, he doesn't unlock it at the same time. Like, it would have made more sense of, like, hitting Rin when Obito unlocked it if it happened to Kakashi. Like, that's what breaks...
I would say it wouldn't have made sense if they unlocked it differently. I think that makes more sense since it's Obito's Sharingan originally. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, Kakashi, the thing that breaks the rule is that
Kakashi having it.
Or not have it, it's that he doesn't have it the moment Obito does.
What do you mean? Because he got the eye, then when Obito went on that split...
He doesn't get the Mangekyo the moment Obito does.
They do. Both of them unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan at the same time. They showed you that. Because Obito was there. Kakashi unlocked Mangekyo Sharingan when he hit Rin, and Obito was right there when he saw it.
He unlocked it for Obito, but he couldn't use it until super late in Shippuden as well. Yeah. That's the inconsistency.
But he made up for that, though. That's what you said, right?
It's not that he made up for it.
He explained it.
So I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. It was that he made an exception to the rule that makes it make sense for later. Okay. So it leads into why it makes Sardas make sense later.
Okay, so literally with the same thing, I will agree with you that Gear 3rd regularly without Haki shouldn't hit as hard, because Elephant Gun, the same amount of damage we see regular Giant Pistol do, he never does the same damage with Elephant Gun. But I'm understanding exactly what you're saying, because the reason why I understand is because of Luffy's power being based on his imagination. So, like, going back and seeing all this stuff again, I will agree how it doesn't, but now...
Real quick, so what you're saying is, because it could possibly be that his power is imagination, he imagines that his arm has more density than normal. He just won't use the word density. He'll think bigger mean bigger punch.
Yeah, because Luffy's an idiot.
Yeah, technically, but
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Like, that was my entire argument.
Okay.
See, now I was just like, you understand? Like, I knew you would I knew you would agree with me if you knew what I was trying to say. I'm just not the best person at saying.
Because I know you with the Mangekyo was perfect. Because through all that, it did make sense.
It's bullshit at the moment, but it makes
sense later.
It's not that it makes sense later. It's that they realize that it's a plot hole, so they don't just fix it later. They make it to where if something similar happens again, it makes sense.
So Bonnie, that's the equivalent of what you're talking about would be the existence of Bonnie. Because if you know about Bonnie, her power is based on the same thing. She basically was created, her power was created by Saturn in order for her to just pull things from any future and be able to use them. Well, in Egghead, she couldn't do Nika's stuff anymore because they literally say she doesn't believe Nika exists right now. And then when she sees Luffy's Gear 5, now she's able to do it again. So that's where the imagination would be reinforced, is why it would make sense.
Or that actually makes it sound like Luffy's power isn't imagination, it's belief.
Hey.
Like, he doesn't imagine, like, and it makes perfect sense, because I've seen the Gear 5 Kaido fight, just because you could not see it if you were on the internet.
Fight,
but that actually makes it's not that he imagined that the lightning bolt was rubber, it's that he believed the lightning bolt was rubber.
Yeah, I can see
that. Makes way more sense than imagine. It makes way more sense than imagination, because it makes the Gear 3rd sense. It's not that he imagines that it's heavy, that it does more damage. It's he believes it does more damage.
So when he throws,
because when Gear 2, he doesn't imagine that he's going faster. He believes because he makes his blood vessels work faster. He is faster.
That's hard, actually. That's a different level than just, you know, the Uberman stuff we're doing. That's a deeper level. But that
even goes into that, because like,
it does, but
you have to believe that the Ubermensch can come forward.
Yeah, but even
and then strive to bring him out.
I think belief's higher than faith.
Well, they're the same thing for different reasons.
But think about this. Because you have faith that you can do something, that's usually pretense.
No. What I'm saying is faith and belief are like, they're like squares and rhombuses.
Yeah, but
like,
think about
like
it.
All faith is belief, but not all belief is faith.
Let's dig that though.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I'm just no. The reason, like, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying it for if anybody else is watching. Yeah.
But let's take that and go deeper. So if he believes that it's gonna hit hard before it even does, that's deep. Like, that's so much different to say, I just have faith this is gonna do. Like, no, he's already done it and believes it's gonna do this before it actually does what he believes it's gonna do.
So I think what you're getting at is, you can believe something so hard you know it, but you can't have faith so hard that you know it. No,
I wouldn't say that.
No,
I would say like where they exist, like in a verbal standpoint. Like if we was talking about Luffy and we use the words faith and belief, we would always put faith before the actual go to do something. It would always, in a sentence, look like it's not happened yet. Versus if I say I believe this is going to happen, you might as well go ahead and do it.
So it's like faith means that you don't know, but you want to believe you know. Belief means you might not know, but you act as if it's true.
Yeah.
Because you have faith in the unknowable, but you believe you can know it.
Yeah. And that makes, like, how we say how much Luffy loves life, how much he say that he loves freedom, or not even loves freedom, but he lives freedom. Like, when you put a belief in front of it and literally see him just, that makes sense why he looks at life in a whole storm, laughing while everybody else over here thinking they finna die, because he already believe he gonna get out of it before they even got into it.
Or also, he doesn't imagine that he's gonna be Pirate King. He believes that he's gonna be Pirate King.
Yeah, that makes everything way more intense.
His power, I don't think his power is imagination.
I think it's belief.
I think it's belief. Because, like, for every other character, it doesn't make sense. But for Luffy, because remember, he doesn't imagine anything but having food.
Yeah.
He doesn't magically get food with his power.
We don't know that actually yet.
No, I'm saying like there's moments where he'd be hungry, but he doesn't go like, this rock is a piece of meat.
Yeah, you're right. But there's one instance where he got food and we don't know how he got it. Like right after Saturn first appeared, him and Kizaru's fight just finished. And Luffy's on the ground laying there for like 3 chapters. And literally, in one of the chapters right before he gets up, he's literally shown with a whole thing of food. And still nobody knows how he got it. So that's why I said we don't know yet. But he might.
That feels more like a belief that he would get food.
Yeah, but...
more than him imagining food existing. Because remember, in the showing of what Gear 5 can do, he doesn't make anything out of nothing. He turns something into something else.
He's made something out of nothing in the Lucci fight, though.
Well, no, he just turned something else into it.
So, I guess in the Lucci fight...
because, like, he would just turn air into something.
I mean, is that the same? This
It's not the same thing.
Pulling something out of thin air? Like,
that's not the same thing as creating it out of nothing. That's converting it from something else into something.
In that case, then nothing doesn't exist. Then
nothing exists in this sense that is the opposite of a thing.
Yeah, but
like a vacuum is nothing.
Here's what I'm saying. The scene I'm talking about is when he shot past Lucci, hit the tube, and he literally, I guess I'm gonna say for whatever it's his hair, he literally goes in his hair and puts on goggles just like that, like they were there all the time, and
because he believed they were there all the time.
Yeah,
he didn't imagine them there.
Yeah, but saying that, I mean, I'm just on the creation part.
But also, like, he easily could have subconsciously turned his hair into goggles.
Yeah, he could have did that.
Because, remember, Oda goes out of his way constantly in the story to say nothing is fully destroyed and nothing is newly created. So I don't think he's creating things. I think he's converting things into other things. And we see it the best, like, when he's, like, he turns the world around him against Kaido into rubber.
Yeah.
And he turns other things into rubber.
Yeah.
It's not because he imagined that it would act like rubber, because he does everything there with purpose.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't be like, I imagine that it's rubber. No, I believe when I do this, it's going to act like rubber, because it goes back to normal when he's not there anymore.
No, that's not true. It doesn't go back to normal, because Kaido in the fight used the same rubber ground.
No. I'm not talking about there. I'm talking about it's not rubber forever. Yeah. I don't mean in that moment. Yeah. As soon as the influence of his belief is not there. Because if it was imagination, then the moment he stopped imagining it, it should stop.
Yeah.
But since he believed that it would act like rubber, that makes more sense.
That makes perfect sense, actually. Because that would explain, because it would be like Momo from MHA, because she's literally creating stuff using her lipids.
Yeah, she uses fatty acids and lipids.
Yeah, she can pull anything, though, and that stuff's there until it breaks.
It's like, or like, if you want to think about it, it's like the Hulk. He has to convert energy around him into matter to get big.
I don't know that much about the Hulk like that.
No, I'm saying, too, he doesn't create muscle mass. He has to turn... so you're always exposed to radiation. Like, just how it's just the radiation that hurts you. Like, the light is radiation. Mm-hmm. So he just absorbs radiation
from all sources,
and then turns that radiation into muscle
power.
Mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like, That's what I think all the stuff that he's doing is. I don't think he's he's technically creating it, but I don't think he's creating the molecules themselves. Like I don't think he's creating matter, because he's not. He's like Oda's been very specific. Nothing creates or erases matter. It might destroy a thing, but it doesn't leave nothing. But what if that's the power of the dark fruit? Because the opposite of... Actually, hey, what if emus... So, if Luffy was the power of belief, right? And that's what Nika gives him, right? Mm-hmm. If it gave him the power of belief. What if emus, it's supposed to be shadowy? What if it's nothing, because nothing's the opposite of belief?
And that would be a good parallel to why Zoro's teacher told him they're a swordsman that can cut nothing. Oh, that would be hard.
Yeah.
That would be hard.
And the fact that his teacher's insignia's all over the place in Wano.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his teacher's from Wano.
Yeah, but I'm just like the family sigils like all over the place in Wano.
Yeah.
But did we just crack the One Piece code?
It's possible. It's possible. Belief.
Yeah. What if Luffy doesn't use imagination? What if he uses belief? Because like they're super similar, you know.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to imagine an outcome to believe that it's gonna happen. To have belief in something, you have to be able to imagine that it's there. But belief is so much stronger than imagination. Mm-hmm. So much stronger.
Yeah, by leagues. Like leagues stronger. Because you think about it.
You can't have joint imagination with another person, but you can have a joint belief.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Hold on now. Boy, that's crazy. So, the Uberman's trying to get everybody to believe the same thing he does.
Well, it's not just that. It's the Ubermensch takes those that don't imagine the Ubermensch is the right way to go.
Yeah.
They believe bringing forth the Ubermensch is the right thing to do. They don't imagine.
Right.
So, they don't... Remember, everyone doesn't imagine that Luffy's going to become Pirate King.
They believe it.
They believe it.
Yep. To the points that they'd even tell it to who they're going against. Like
it empowers them when they're losing. When someone talks shit about Luffy, they're just like, no, I have an unwavering belief that he'll do this because he said he would.
And that goes back to Shanks and fucking, Roger and,
Yeah. And speaking of Shanks, what if the reason Roger couldn't continue is because he didn't believe he could use the One Piece to stop the world government?
I believe that. So it would all dial back to
because
belief.
Also, like at that point that he finds it, it's close to his time of death.
Yeah, and that would understand why he told all the people to go for it, because it's like at that
eventually the person that has it can
think
do it.
About the dude in the Gold Roger bar. Well, he said how all these pirates came up and they don't have any backbone. They don't have any, wits about them because the world had lost their belief. And Roger trying to put the belief back in the world that the One Piece exists, but trying to give them something to believe in, which in turn started... That was me.
Okay.
I did that.
I thought it was something fell over here.
Yeah. But, so that's Roger putting the belief back in the world.
Yeah, he didn't put the imagination back in the world.
No, he put the belief. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So,
that's good.
Oda, give us an interview.
On God. On G.
I don't know how much a translator costs, but I'll get one if I have to. But yeah. Also, with One Piece, it's not a story of imagination either. It's a story of belief. No. Because, like, let's take this back. Let's take this back to the original outro song of the English dub.
Yeah.
Like, the song's just like the chick saying, as a kid, I never stopped searching for a great treasure. Yeah, she didn't imagine that she'd find a great treasure. She had a belief that she was going to find a great treasure.
Ooh. What?
It's like Luffy. Like, Luffy doesn't also at no point does Luffy sit and imagine what being the Pirate King would be like.
Bro. I hope it's right. You know why? Because One Piece and Naruto will sit on top, believe it, and his whole power is off belief. Oh my god. Well, also, like, the believe it thing from Naruto is different though, because him telling other people to believe it implies that he knows it. Yeah.
Which, like,
Luffy ain't implying shit.
Yeah, but yeah, dude. What if it's?
And I feel like I feel like
but
in
also
the later chapters he gonna flip that.
It fits with everything that's happened and everything, like, up to where I like what's it called? Like, so the question, we just need to know what Pluton is, because we know what everything else is.
We don't really know what Uranus. We really don't know. We can guess, but Pluton is the one that's like.
Well, we know what Neptune is.
Yeah, Shiroshi.
It's Shiroshi.
Able to control and talk to all the Sea Kings of the world. And they first came in Water 7 like Pluton was a ship, but then come Wano, they say they've confirmed Pluton is in Wano and it's under Wano. So, but there was a theory that said Pluton was a mole.
There's another one too. It's like the satellite.
Uranus. They tried to say the mother flame was Uranus, and it would make sense.
But like, I know in like chapter like 105 or some shit, there's like, or it might have been 995. They like showed it, like, it's like a satellite. It just shoots a big ass laser.
That's the mother flame.
Okay, that's the mother flame. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't.
That's what we originally, the ideal was the mother flame was Uranus, but now the theory is that Vegapunk made the mother flame to imitate Uranus.
That makes sense.
Because if you notice, Poseidon is water, Pluton's supposed to be land, and Uranus is supposed to be the sky. The same. Poseidon, Neptune, same dude, different names.
Technically.
Yeah.
But you have to put.
But I know in the show they call it Poseidon.
But, okay. Like, I just knew the Neptune name.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well just say Neptune because it keeps it consistent with everything else.
But it's like one of the, like, because, like, they're the same person in mythology.
Yeah, but
they're believed by different people, so they have different attitudes according to those people. It's like Yahweh and Allah. Yeah. They're the same. They're supposed to be the same person, but they believe different things about them. Yeah.
But no,
or like the Christian God and Yahweh.
Neptune, Pluton. Neptune's supposed to be sea. Pluton's supposed to be land. Uranus is supposed to be sky.
Which makes sense because you know who Uranus is, right? In Greek mythology.
It's not Zeus. It's ain't no way I took 2 years of mythology and I can't say this. Who is it?
Well, it does have to do with Zeus.
I know Zeus is Jupiter. No, Zeus is Neptune in another.
No, he's not. Zeus is Jupiter.
Yeah, Zeus is Jupiter.
Yeah. No, Uranus is the actual name.
Of
Uranus.
Oh, that's the god?
It is... Technically, it's a primordial aspect, but it's the heavenly spheres of Gaia. Like the heavens above Gaia. So it's Zeus's grandfather.
Oh.
Zeus, Hades and Poseidon's grandfather. It's Kronos' dad.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Kronos' dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically like, it's not the sky as people normally say it is. It is like the sky and space. Which makes sense because aren't there motherfuckers on the moon? Or they like ran away to the moon.
You talking about in One Piece?
Yeah.
You talking about Enel?
Yeah, there's something on the moon.
Enel.
I don't know what it is. I just know there's something
went
up there.
to the moon. Actually, I need to look that up. So I don't know that much about the moon theory. I just know Enel, after he left in Skypiea, the next arc, he's supposed to go to the moon after Luffy beats him.
I just know there's something on the moon in One Piece. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there's something from the Void Century that happens on the moon. It'd be funny if the final poneglyph is on the moon. Oh, what if the One Piece is a thing that says...
I hope not.
It's on the moon?
I hope not.
What if that's what the One Piece is?
Hey, I hope not.
And then on the moon... and it's just like... And then... So the One Piece is just like a thing... It's a poneglyph that says... The thing you are looking for is on the moon. Because that would make Roger laugh.
Yeah.
Being like, you gotta go to the moon. Roger's gonna be like...
And I can imagine the whole crew just laugh like, how the fuck are we gonna get there? And here's a joke. Freaking Roger like, yep, I ain't going there. Let's go tell everybody else the One Piece is this.
Yeah, let's go. Like, also remember, there's a weird thing about the thing. It's not that he's telling people the One Piece exists as its separate thing. He told people it's where he put all his treasure.
Yeah, I left all the treasure in one place.
It's called the One Piece. But yeah, he doesn't say that the One Piece is like this thing that he found. No, it's just, I put all my treasure here because everyone else is too much of a bitch to get there. Go find it, guys.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, but it turns out it's actually something that he found and couldn't do anything with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So,
I definitely agree with that.
Or what if the One Piece, like the reason he laughed is because he couldn't believe what the One Piece was, and since he doesn't have the power of belief, he couldn't do anything with it. And that's why he needs the power of someone that believes, and that's why when Shanks met Luffy, he was like, "This is exactly the person Roger told me to look for."
Yeah, I definitely see that. It also bleeds the question because I'm trying to see. I agree with all these theories and everything, but recently they revealed that Joy Boy and Nika were actually two different people.
That's what I said a long time ago. Remember?
You did.
Remember when we first talked about the idea of starting this podcast? I was just like, ago. I think when I told you about how Magellan looks like a metaphor for 1940s Japan. Yeah. I was just like, and you told me about the Joy Boy and Nika thing, and I was just like, it kind of doesn't make sense if they're the same person.
They're not. Confirmed.
But my whole thing is why it doesn't make sense is that they're not the same. Is because Nika would have had to exist before the Princess of Fishman Island that Joy Boy made a promise for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, how could they be the same person if they have to be greatly different?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but yeah, 100.
Because also, like, if Nika or if Joy Boy was like, the other reason it doesn't make sense if they were the same person, in my opinion, why it wouldn't make sense if they were the same person, is when he is, like, Joy Boy would have. What's the way to say it? It's Nika would have... People know who Nika is outside
of Joy Boy.
Outside of Joy, but not just that. They tried to wipe Joy Boy's name from existence.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it to Nika.
Yeah, that's true.
They didn't.
Yeah, because Joy Boy's name on the poneglyphs where only, certain amount of people can read them versus you got Nika over here.
Like he's still worshipped by the Elbaf.
Still worshipped. Elbaf still worships him.
Because, what's it called? When we meet the two giants, they even say something about the sun.
Yeah.
They're like, praise the sun or some shit.
Yeah.
And they existed before Gold Roger because they're like 200 and something.
Yeah.
They're like, I think they're close to 200 because they're not even halfway through their lifespan.
If I remember correct, I think Dory is like 150 and Brock is like 149.
Like, because I remember them saying like, the one with the sword was just like, I'm not even halfway through my life. But yeah.
Heck yeah.
And all of Shake's decisions with Luffy that I've seen at this point make total sense now.
They're 160.
160.
Yeah.
But that's post time skip though, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so they're like 158.
Yeah.
When we run into them. But it would make sense that they're the almost exact same age. Because they're best friends.
Heck yeah.
Or they're super close friends. But, yeah. Also, Luffy's power being belief also makes more sense because everyone that has a genuine conversation with him believes he's going to be the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
Like, even Smoker does.
At this point in the story, for sure.
Well, Smoker doesn't think yet, but eventually, like, even Garp.
That when I say
even
at
Garp
this point, I
thinks that Luffy might do it. Yeah. But I'm talking about, like, to where I am, like, everyone thinks Luffy has a chance. Like, even Whitebeard's just like...
Oh, yeah. No, Whitebeard
he might do
for
it.
Sure.
Like, Whitebeard's like, this son of a bitch might do it.
Yeah.
Even, I think Ace, before he dies, is just like, my brother's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right before that's why he pushes himself, like, remember, when he dies, the reason he dies isn't, like, Luffy tried to take the attack, but Ace wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
So, like, Luffy was gonna take the full brunt, so Ace would live, but Ace was just like, no, little bro, you're gonna be king of the fucking pirates. I'm taking it. No one touches my little brother type shit. Mm-hmm. And so he takes the full brunt.
I can definitely see that.
And then, like, why would Law help Luffy if he didn't think that he might be? Because remember, he might be still a small amount of belief.
Yeah, small.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you say you might be, you have to have some definition of belief that he can actually do it. Versus
part of you, or a better way to say it with might, it's part of you.
Yeah,
believes.
Okay. With part of you would have to believe that he could actually do it in order to say that. Versus where we talk about the Straw Hats and Zoro, Usopp, and them, they literally get empowered by declaring that, defending Luffy's dream. So, Law might actually have, like, because you think about Law's character, even though we ain't got to Law yet. I don't know. We're
like 700 episodes away from it.
Yeah. No, not 700.
Sabo
Part 1.
No. Like, I'm talking about Law's, like, actual story. Isn't that, like, episode
800?
Yeah.
No, that's 8. Yeah. That's like
in the 800s?
Yeah.
Because it's right before Jerma 6, I think. Isn't it?
Not right before.
Well, I mean, like, the thing before.
No.
What's the thing before Jerma 6?
So you got Dressrosa, then there's Zoe. That's Raizo and all them.
Okay.
The Minks. Right. Then you got Whole Cake.
Okay.
So that's like a 150 episode discrepancy. Just a little bit.
But the arcs are 120 episodes in One Piece.
Yeah. Not all of them, though. Not all of them.
Well,
but a lot of them.
The later ones are.
Yeah, definitely the later ones.
Like the last, like, what's it called? The
Dressrosa. Zoe,
what's it called?
Whole Cake. Wano's 150 something to
No,
almost
so
200 episodes.
there's like 5 arcs post time skip, but there's like I think there's 9 pre time skip, 9 or 10 pre time skip.
I couldn't tell you. I ain't counting them all.
No. Look, Fishman Island.
This is post time skip. Right?
Yeah.
So Fishman, Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, Zoe, Whole Cake, then Wano.
And then Egghead, so there's 7. And then if you go pre, there's
East Blue.
Well, East Blue's technically 2 arcs, but you could call it 1.
Yeah, so the East
and then
Blue.
Arlong.
Yeah, East Blue, Arlong. Well, no. Because, no, Arlong would be, no. Because compared to everything else, Arlong's significantly longer. So, yeah, the East Blue with all the Sanji and all them catching up. Then we get to Arlong with Nami's story.
And that's only like 70 episodes for 2.
Yeah, and then we get to Log Town and all that.
Because, what's it called? Even the seasons don't count the 3rd one as part of Alabasta, like the season convention.
Yeah, they call even Arlong's, well, they call them sagas from what I've been seeing, but
Alabasta is like Whiskey Peak on to the end of Alabasta.
Yeah.
And then we have Scapia's not super long. I think Scapia's only like 40 episodes.
I couldn't, hold on, I'll let you know. Because I'm on it.
I can tell you. I can tell you real quick.
Rula. Got Goat Island, Ruluka, Jaya. Actual Skypiea arc goes from 153 to...
what's it called? This is saying that it's 70 episodes, but it's not 71 episodes. And then there's Water 7.
Because they started from before you get to... Yeah,
but what I'm saying is,
sagas.
Like, so Water 7 is 2 arcs.
Yeah, Water 7.
And then Thriller Bark. And then Summit War is 2 arcs. So
Summit War is 3.
Or 3, yeah.
Because you got Sabaody Part 1, then 3D2Y, the Amazon Lily. Wait, no. So let's call that all one. So Sabaody Part 1, then you got Impel Down and Marineford. Yeah. But they encapsulate... Oh, no, they got a different... Oh, no. Why is 3D2Y one episode?
It's a recap, I believe.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. See, it's a recap episode.
Yeah,
it's like
because you definitely got Marineford and Impel Down.
Because, because Fishman Island counts, like, everything that happens before they go to Fishman Island.
Yeah.
And then, what's it called? Fishman Island ends, like... Where's it end at? Fishman Island ends... like, here. But it only starts, like... What's it called? Where's it at? Like, Fishman Island... like starts like here, but they start the saga at 17.
Yeah.
But it doesn't... They don't actually do anything related to Fishmen until like 26.
Yeah. Because they're going by the sagas and not the actual...
Yeah, not the actual arcs.
Yeah.
But then you see like they're calling it Sky Island, but that has like 2 things in it. Because it's like the first half of Water 7 is in the Sky Island part. The other reason I know that is because I friggin' watched it.
Yeah.
Because, what's it called? Because it, like, they get to Skypiea and, like, whenever they find what's her name. So it's, like, somewhere in here. And then it goes all the way to, like, them showing up at Water 7. Or they're just like, we need to find someone to fix our ship.
Yeah.
And that's what goes into Water 7.
Yep.
But it goes all the way to here.
Farewell, Marine. Oh, yeah, it goes all the way to G8. Yeah, the G8 arc where they fall down from Skypiea in the military base. Yeah, it does take that. And right after that is when they go to Water 7.
Yeah, and then Water 7 encapsulates
in his lobby.
Like, they're trying to say it's 120 episodes. That's, what's it called? Like, they don't even get to Water 7 until, like, I think it's right here.
Sure. No, keep going. That's Longry Longland.
Oh, my bad.
That's Foxy. All that Foxy shit.
Not key, and they realize how weak they actually are.
Yep.
Even though they just beat a man that's a literal god.
Yep.
Like, has like wit. Also, another thing no one talks about: Enel should be the strongest character in the verse.
Mm-hmm. No, you ain't the only one to say that.
Because like lightning is the because like you got to remember that fruit awakened would have the power to destroy the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yep.
He's a living fucking sun.
Yep. No, 100.
Because he can turn into lightning. Lightning's just fucking plasma.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Enel was supposed to be the most
Enel,
thing to touch
that's
One
another
Piece.
thing that messes with Kizaru is Enel's faster.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both supposed to be the same speed. But
if it wasn't for the fact that they did that gimmick from Luffy to Enel, Enel would have was supposed to tear everything up.
What? See, this is like where it starts. I think somewhere in this area, but that's like 30 episodes after.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way to tell
lobby.
me that you want to live.
In his lobby.
But
in his lobby.
And then look, it ends with the Ace fight. I think.
Yep, that's what it
is. It's the last episode, but also you notice it doesn't have what's it called? Like Thriller Bark is. How many episodes does it say Thriller Bark is?
Like 40.
59.
Or 60.
Yeah, it has way because like it goes all the way to where do they meet? What's his name at? Because that's when Thriller Bark starts. Like here.
Brook, when they first meet Brook. Yeah, that's when Thriller Bark
here it is.
Starts.
This one.
Yep. So that's 337.
And then it ends with Kuma showing up and having like probably my favorite scene.
Oh yeah, and nothing happened.
Yeah, this is like the end of it is right here.
Yeah, around there.
So that's
when them leaving right there, and then they go into Brooks Pass and all that.
The Pain of My Crewmates is the one where Zoro has like his big dick moment, and then there's just like 18 episodes.
That was the way to explain that.
That's what it's the ultimate big dick episode.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I didn't think he was gonna explain it like that.
Like, it went from being like the 3 swords feels like compensation to no, you need to carry 17.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
you're right.
That's
100.
like it's like that fucking that thing where they're talking about Pokemon Go, the thing where he's making fun of, and they showing B drill. So it's like big dick B, like that's Zoro for the rest of the show after that moment. Because you got like Luffy just soloed everybody, and then it's just like, so Luffy's gonna die if you don't take all the pain he took for the last several days at this exact moment.
I don't even think it. Well, yeah, by time wise, it would be several days.
Yeah.
And that was a lot. Like, because, that was from not just with Moria. That was from Lucci. That was from...
Yeah. He's still fucked up from... Because it takes place like a week after... Like, I think it takes place like a week after he beats the shit out of Enel.
Yeah.
Because remember, he still gets fucking blown up by what's his name when he fights Enel. Yep. The dude with the rocket launcher and shit.
Oh, the Shandorians.
Yeah. So like he's like consistently getting fucked up,
Zoro took all of that.
Yeah,
and it was at that point I feel like Zoro will forever be better than Sanji.
But also the big thing that does is it shows like the big thing that moment's gonna show. So I don't want to talk too much of it now, but it shows like how integral suffering to become better is to the idea of One Piece.
Yes.
And then the Summit War.
That's like 3 arcs.
I think it's 4 because it counts Sabaody.
Yeah, Sabaody Part 1 and Sabaody Part 2. And
Sanji beat the shit out of him, and they become friends with Hachi.
Yep, Duval and Hachi. Then you got to go through all that. Then the fight.
This, and then you go through this
Amazon
mini arc that's
Lily.
like 20 episodes.
Yep.
Because most people consider it an arc that I've seen. They get Amazon Lily an arc.
No, for sure.
What's it called? Starts here. Until Down starts around here.
No, back one.
Or this one.
Infiltration. Yep.
What's the full name of it? Yeah, that's where it starts. Because this is the one where he. Where.
That's Zoro's flashback.
Yeah. No, that's not the flashback. That's Zoro.
Well, not flashback.
Trying to talk Mihawk into training him.
Yeah.
Or it's right before. Because after he gets the message from Luffy, is when he just goes, begs and Mihawk just like, okay, go fight the monkeys.
Yep. Which is
like,
why
Mihawk, was that racist?
That's why they call Zoro the minority hunter. And it's actually fucking it's accurate. You want to know why? Because in Egghead, Zoro was fighting Lucci. Bro, you know that they teased that fight all the way through February and didn't finish it until the first chapter outside of February, Black History Month. And he was fighting Lucci. Of course, Lucci's not black, but he was a leopard, and leopards kind of symbolize.
No, Lucci's Latino, bro. Don't make it like that. Lucci's literally got a Spanish name.
I thought it was Italian.
Dude, have you heard a Spaniard talk?
I mean, not in real life, but yeah, that's a rapper. Actually,
not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't listen to why?
Yeah, no. I'm talking about like I listen to good music.
Yeah, you're right. Italian origin.
From Lucius.
Yep.
Which means light. But I'm just saying, he looks Spanish. He doesn't look Italian.
I agree. He looks more Spanish than Italian.
And I don't mean like Latin American. I mean,
Spain.
I mean, like.
Is that what you think? You think people think Mexico and stuff?
That's what most people think you mean when you say Spanish.
How dare you compare me to most people?
I wasn't saying it for you. I was saying it to the people we can't see.
I know. It's a joke.
But like see, they have the same skin tone as Rob Lucci. Like the exact same skin tone. But Italians have similar skin tones. Here, I'll prove my point, though.
No, you already proved it.
No. I'm talking about people just assuming. That when you say
AOC
Spanish people...
is from Spain?
No, she's Puerto Rican.
Oh, I didn't know
that. That's the point I wish... That when you say most people are going to just... Anyone that speaks Spanish, they're not going to be like Spaniards.
No, I just said it because it came up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, Lin-Manuel Miranda's Puerto Rican.
Who?
Lin-Manuel Miranda, this guy.
Oh, I ain't.
See, when people say Spanish, they assume Hispanic, but that's not what you mean.
Right.
Like, she's Latino. She's not Spanish.
I think the actual term for somebody that's from Spain is Spaniard, not Spanish.
It's also Spanish. But I think Spaniard is like their word for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like Spanish is like what you would say if you're a she's Latino, but she's not.
That's the girl from High School Musical.
Yo.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But because Spaniards are just slightly darker skinned white people, but people don't know that. See, slightly darker skinned white people.
Oh well.
See, because that's not Spanish. That's a Mexico flag. Mexican flag. See, she not a Spaniard. Neither is she. See, but yeah. Also, why's Lucci got an Amaterasu? Also, it's is Lucci's a mythical Zoan or just a Zoan?
It's just a Zoan.
Then why's he got the black Amaterasu looking thing?
Because he's awakened.
That's all that means, to have that flame. So every Zoan looks like that when awakened?
They should.
So, is it a black flame or is it just a flame?
No, it's just black. It's supposed to be like, I don't know.
Well,
because in Kaku's case, Kaku's is just smoke. But in Luigi's case, they made it look like a fire.
Is it everybody that has a devil fruit when it's awakened done that, or just Zoans?
I mean, so far, it looks like just Zoans. Cause
so is the
Doflamingo didn't do it. Katakuri didn't do it.
What is Katakuri's fruit?
Mochi mochi. So
like actual mochi?
Cake. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I know who he is. I just didn't know his fruit.
Yeah, it's mochi mochi. And
I know Don Flamingo's fruit. It's like the thread fruit or whatever.
Yeah, string.
String.
Yamato's did it.
I know what Yamato's is. Hers is my favorite devil fruit in the show so far.
Kaido's is the only one that they've come out and say he's not awakened, but he has the fucking flame thing. It's weird. That's why I say it's weird.
I'm just curious. So, does that mean Luffy's is awakened?
Yes. That's the whole reason he got to Gear 5.
Okay, Gear 5 is awakened. Okay. Yep. It would make sense, though, if, like, the rest of his powers were brought up significantly, because everyone's devil fruit that's awakened, like, their base power is increased.
They say the way Kaido interpreted it, said awakening is what happened when the mind catches up to the body.
That makes sense. Well, I think that's enough for today, because today's episode was extra long because it got split into two, and a dumb argument that lasted 45 minutes.
Was it 45 minutes?
Yes.
Felt like an hour.
I think it was like 52 minutes total. Something like that. But, yeah, if y'all enjoyed it, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by.
Appreciate it.
And it's Corrupted.
And your Drago.
Signing